It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right, welcome back aboard. On a wet and wild Wednesday, we are Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. Boys, how we feeling?
Feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. In the studio right now, it smells like money and success. It sounds like there's been a lot of money and a lot of successful men that have been in this studio today. But I'm feeling good, man. How you doing over there?
Outstanding. We got a nice little show for you today. We'll have our boy Schefter on, as usual, on a Wednesday. Cam Mellor, the executive director of College Football Network, 1:33. Kevin Oestreicher, Locked On Ravens at 2:33. Did you dip into the Caitlin Clark WNBA debut?
I did, and it was clunky for her. The points look good, but you gotta dig a little deeper, right? And you saw that. Hey, this is the big leagues now, kid. Welcome to the big leagues. 10 turnovers in the game. That's gonna happen. She's on a bad team, obviously. That's why they were picking, number one overall. But AR, I think, as far as the attendance stuff goes, they were saying on the broadcast right out of the gate, that was one of the first sellouts the Sun had in years. And that's obviously because of Caitlin Clark. So decent debut, but nothing spectacular.
Yeah, the IM basketball tour is going to be interesting in the first season. There's a lot of appeal. There's a lot of pressure. She is technically, I guess, still a villain. And what I mean by that is that other teams want to beat her. Because when someone comes in your building, she's being kind of tabbed, just in my mind, as like kind of a Steph Curry effect for the Indiana Fever. And I don't think she's doing anything necessarily to be the villain, but just by being the chosen one in the WNBA, you're going to get that. Now, I don't remember who did it. I saw a highlight on ESPN this morning. Somebody on the Connecticut Sun after the game or at some point in the game made that little heart sign after the game, which I think is her little signature deal. So that had to be...
Oh, they're coming for blood.
It had to be, right?
They're coming for blood. Yeah. Alyssa Thomas, one of the best players in the WNBA. She was one of the top 5 MVP candidates. You could see her, like, after one bucket, Caitlin, fouled her, and she's giving her a little look, giving her a little flex, and that's what you got to deal with. That's what you have to deal with no matter what sport that you're in. When you're the young pup, and you step into that den with the Bulldogs and the Pit Bulls and all of them that have been around and done that, they're going to want a piece of flesh. And that's exactly what she is. But eventually, she's going to figure this thing out. We've seen her game for a couple years, and I'm sure it'll become smoother for her. But out of the gate, I'm sure she woke up this morning and thought, okay, this isn't as easy as I thought it would be.
Well, score, and she will, and she is one. I agree with you. She's drawing the double teams because maybe their team isn't good enough where you have to play them straight up, right? So you can afford to double team her, force her into some turnovers. I did not dip in the beginning. I checked the box score. I was out, and I checked the box score, and it was 5 minutes to go second quarter, and I saw she had a goose egg. And I was like, oh, no, like this. Now, the end of the day, the 20 is obviously big, and she hit a 3, and I think her first points ever as a professional was a layup.
Well, I will say, yes, that is correct. But I will say there were some questionable 2 foul calls right away in the first 5 minutes that put her on the bench, and that's why she really wasn't impactful in the first half.
That's right. And so, like Maddie said, it's kind of a welcome to the pros moment. And it was fun to see her out there. I don't think she wasn't cowering to anybody. She was... it's just interesting. She's a girl who had to dominate in college and did, and now she's in the pros and all eyes are on her. I'm rooting for her. I think it's great for their game. It's got people watching like me that probably wouldn't be watching, and so here we go. And so she's on the Fever. She's kind of in our region, and let's go. But the 10 turnovers, not that she didn't turn over the ball in college. She did. But
got the wrong type of double-double in your debut.
Yeah, now we can see exactly what she may be up against. But she'll be home on Thursday. I don't know. CB, can you bet on the WNBA? Like, is that in Bet365?
I haven't seen it, but I can definitely look.
And I'm wondering whether there are any props for them. I just don't think there are probably enough There's probably not enough.
I'm curious
people
about
you
that
could
too.
list.
I don't know. I have no idea. But she's not going to be the only one. We're going to get the football season, and we're going to be talking about Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels and Drake May and all of these guys struggling. That's what happens when you play with grown men and grown women that have been doing this for a very long time. So she's going to be a rock star for the sport. Hopefully, for the WNBA's sake, she's going to be able to light it up the way she did in college. That way she can continue to grab people like you, grab people like me that may not tune in as much without her doing her thing.
All right, CB just alerted me you can. Is she? So they're playing New York on Thursday at home.
I can only look at what's tonight. Like if you wanted to bet Angel Reese over 12.5 points versus Dallas tonight, you could do that.
Okay. How good is New York?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, and by the way, we've got tomorrow to worry about this. But I think tomorrow I could already lock it in that would be my bet 365. Okay. Like somehow at home in her debut. I want to see if the numbers are ballooned enough where it just wouldn't pay.
Clark time for
there's no player props yet, but there is a line. It's New York minus 6.5.
Oh, so she's an underdog at home. It's more about the prop. I want to see where hers is at. And who knows? Maybe I'd bet the under. Maybe the pressure's still on. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe the home crowd. Speaking of betting, I don't know if you guys saw this. So imagine having a parlay where you picked the Texas Rangers to win the World Series, then the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and then you threw in OKC, threw in the Thunder. There is a guy that did that, and he obviously checked both boxes. Now you're going to ask me the important question. What did he bet? He put $100 on this three-legger that he had hit all three, and he got two of them. The original bet was $100 to win $1.7 million. Ooh. All right? Ooh. I'm going to make the assumption he bet these before the season or he bet the futures. And so he had the Rangers, the Chiefs, and the Thunder. He's 2 out of 3, and as Meatloaf's saying, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, except in betting. You have to go all 3. And so he's been toying with a cash out.
You have to.
Well, I don't. 1.7. Here's why I would say you don't. I think you could let it ride tonight. I think he could have because the Thunder is at home.
It's tied up. Yeah,
they're a favorite at home. It's scary. Don't get me wrong. So the cash out he's been offered on this is $81,000 on his $100 bet. So he's got $1.7 million if the Thunder win. And every time the Thunder win or advance, that cash out's going up. Mm-hmm. And it's gone, he said it's gone as low as $11,000. And he said to himself, he's a single dad. And he said to himself, if it got to 80, he'd cash out. And he put out a video today live of him cashing out
Smart man.
At $81,000 on his $100 bet.
Take the money and run. That's exactly what I would do. I would not mess around with this any longer. You've grinded this thing out for so long. You've earned this money. Obviously, it's not $1 million. I get the gap between $1 million and 81 is huge. I got you.
Almost $2 million.
I need some type of return to make me feel good, and that would make me feel pretty darn good. So give me the 81 bands, and I'm going home.
I'm just wondering what that cash out would go to if the Thunder win tonight. How much more money? Because then
who knows? Certainly
they'd be favored to win the series. They probably still are. And if you could just get by one more series, that thing's got to go over 100,000.
You cashing out? You getting through the 4 quarters tonight?
Here's what I would try to do. I think I would let it ride tonight. Now, the cash out's going to go to the basement if they lose tonight, right? Because then Dallas can clinch on their home floor, and then he's probably done. So I realized why. But he had a home game tonight as a favorite. What I try to find, I'd get as many friends possible to want to invest in this. I'll sell you a piece of this bet. Oh. And what I would do is I would try to hedge this out a little bit. And if he could do that, so he could keep the big one riding and then somehow set himself a floor where he wouldn't fall too far.
I got you.
And that way, because he'd be happy to hand out some of that 1.7 mil to some of his friends if they're willing to get in on the hedge side of it. That way he could protect a little bit of this cash out. But I'm not going to fault the guy. Like you said it right. He made a great bet. He's earned the right to do this. It's just now... And here's when you cash out, and the funny thing about it is when you cash out, anyone that's ever made a bet, he's now rooting hard for Dallas, like hard. He can't have Oklahoma. He can't live with that. So now,
you're not sleeping well.
His whole every prayer he's ever asked for
is with
has
Luka
been for
and
the
Kyrie.
Thunder. Well, it was for the Thunder.
Yeah.
Now immediately he's had a flip-flop.
Yeah, it's Luka and Kyrie.
Right.
CB, you cashing out or are you riding the wave still?
Oh, you know who I am. I'm
CB
cashing
cashes out on a $10 bet.
I just wanted to hear him say it. I know.
$1.7 million. Now, here's the deal. It's not them just winning the series. They have to go win it all.
Which they're not doing.
So you wouldn't think, but you're just trying to raise your cash out as much as possible. But he had a 1.7 million riding.
You're gonna be close to this, right? You got a Celtics ticket floating out there that's worth about $1 million, don't you? You probably
but then I hedged on the day on the show when Denver was being offered at 16-1, down 0-2.
Oh yeah, you did take that.
Yeah, so
CB's got massive money on the old Buckeyes to win it all. That'll get him
massive.
Some retirement money when we get to the end of the season.
Right. He said, "Screw that 401k. I got my own 401k."
With the $20 bill you found on the ground in Mandalay Bay.
Did we find a Jackson on the floor?
No, I'm completely joking.
I don't remember
you guys talking about that.
Yeah. No, we had some good time. We were watching a little boxing match in there, watching some rando hoops. Who did I have money on that was going crazy? Some random.
It was like Morehead
Southern
State versus
Illinois.
Austin Peay.
Yeah, it was right. It's crazy.
That's the college basketball sicko mode right there.
Yeah.
You start betting on those teams. But win in Rome, win in Vegas. That's what you do.
We were. So anyway, his name is Wayne Shelton.
Okay.
And he became internet famous over the past couple of weeks after he revealed that he had this ticket and he was Oklahoma City Thunder NBA Finals title away from being a multi-millionaire. Well, almost multi. Yeah. And, the tax man's going to come calling for that, for some of that. But,
what up, Uncle
yeah,
Sam?
nice little bet. Rangers, Chiefs, OKC. By the way, my bad, he also got a 50% boost. That's why that got to where it got as well.
I'm also interested when he bet on the Rangers because they turned it on late in the season last year.
Thinking he got him in the beginning of the year?
That's a heck of a bet because they did not look very good. But I could see before the year with Scherzer and DeGrom and all those guys, I see the vision then. But, yeah, it was a grind for them. But, yeah, shout out to him. I wouldn't have the guts to do it. But here they are. And here he is, $81,000 richer. After taxes.
His quote was, "I can't take it anymore."
No, the stress, the anxiety, I'd be like, I'm out. I'm done. I feel good. I'm vindicated.
Turned $100 into $81,000.
That's what I'm saying.
In a few
incredible
weeks.
Win.
Speaking of bets, there's one guy that would not take this bet again. The post-roast regret from the GOAT. Apparently it's real. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hi, this is Bob Capacci. Worthington Jewelers has done it again. Come see our new collection of Glock watches at Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
The Fan is your home for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, we're not. You can't say that. Take two.
The Fan is your home of the Buckeyes. Yes, that's right. Same thing, but more playoff success. Now give Big Voice Guy another brandy. Thank you. The Fan.
Think back many, many years. You're coloring in your favorite coloring book, and there are so many colors in that new box of crayons you don't know where to start. Well, that's exactly what it's like shopping at Oakland Nursery during the Parade of Color. Hand-potted #1 grade roses in an amazing array of colors starting at $29.99. Premium quality annuals for gardens bursting with color, just $2.99 a pack. And flowering hanging baskets exploding with color start at just $16.99. For 84 years, spring color starts at Oakland Nursery.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
And right now, get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. It can all be installed in as little as 1 day.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are cloudy. We're pretty soggy right now. We do have some improvements, though, as we head through the rest of the day. We'll begin to see a little bit of clearing, slowly watching those skies dry out by midday. Into the afternoon hours, 4, 5, 6 o'clock will be nice and dry. Clouds begin to move out, and we might see just a couple rays of sun before sunset. Temperatures climbing into the upper 60s. Columbus hitting 69. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your Doppler 10 forecast on The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
All right, Iceman, tell them where they can not only hear us, but see us, apparently.
Oh, they can find us on YouTube now, big dog, because you can watch your favorite shows live and check out the videos and YouTube shorts. How do you find us? I'm glad you asked. Head to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan. And don't forget, folks, to subscribe to The Fan's new YouTube channel. It's been funny to hear some of the reaction around the office. They were saying earlier that, people were saying with Bishop and friends that some people thought that Chops was black. Thought I had another brother rolling around here with me. So he was surprised to hear
that's interesting because on our page, they thought you were white.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's CB. No, I didn't know that.
I was about to say that's news to me.
Reeser came out and Chops was like, "Wait a minute, I don't even know how to respond to that." But yeah, Chops is he's getting some of that on YouTube. So welcome in, folks. You can see us now. You can
Maddie
hear us
wearing
now.
that, sporting that Reds hat still.
Listen, man, all I do is wear Reds hats. My team's down bad right now, but I'm gonna ride with my guys. We picked up a win last night. And we're still 7 games back in the NL Central. So good times for us Reds fans. But yeah, man, hop on over to YouTube, check us out, and see AR's beautiful Emmy award-winning face he's got.
Got the who's on my sweatshirt? CB, do you know?
Oh, man. I know it's from Miracle. I just can't say.
I know it's going to say that.
I'll give you a hint. Winthrop, Massachusetts. Who do you play for? Does that ring a bell?
It's been so long since I've seen the movie, I can't recall.
Okay. Who do you play for? I play for the United States of America. That's all, gentlemen. Mike Eruzione.
That's an incredible name. Incredible. And look, you're humble. You're not going to do this, so I'm going to do this. The hat you've got on right now, Hockey and Hounds. I mean, pump the brand, big dog.
Yeah.
Like, where can we get the Hockey and Hounds gear? Because some people might see you on YouTube and say, I need that lid. You got a lot of gear out there that people need to consume. So talk to the folks.
And it all goes to, the shelter animals and rescue animals here in Central Ohio. So if you're on the line, go to whereimfrom.com. My friends there have the Hockey and Hounds collection in Ohio. We did one in Philly with Torts, so there's even a Philly collection. But the one here for Hockey and Hounds Central Ohio is at whereimfrom.com. Go to collections and hit Hockey and Hounds. And just know that every dollar you spend will stay right here in the Buckeye State helping animals in need. So thank you, Maddie.
Of course, man.
Being the hype man on that.
I got you. I'll be your Flavor Flav in here.
We got to get the big clock around
Flavor Flav.
Isn't that what I said at the Radio Row? When I said, "Oh, look, I think it's Flavor Flav."
Yeah, who was that?
I know who it was. I know who it was.
Who was it?
I think it was Lil Wayne.
No, we didn't see Lil Wayne.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Who was that?
I said it was Lil Wayne, and it really was.
That hurt me when you said that.
What did I say?
I forget.
It was. Flavor Flav was there.
It was
That's
actually
right.
Flavor Flav. I'm sorry, strike that and reverse it. I saw Flavor Flav and thought it was. No, wait a minute. Yes, I saw Flavor Flav
and thought it was
Lil Wayne. And you said, that wasn't a horrible. There was a little bit of a distance.
Is
that bad? Do they not resemble each other?
I'll give you credit, though. Trying to do a radio show while doing the people watching at Radio Row is pretty difficult.
Don't give them an out on this. Flavor Flav and Lil Wayne. No, we
not
can't.
Age-wise, I get that, but it was 20 yards away, and it was the same hair, the same.
No, I don't think.
Aren't they the same height?
No, because Wayne has a whole bunch of dreads, too. He's got the blonde dreads going right now.
Flav had the.
No, he didn't.
He did not have the dreads.
He's not rocking dreads. No. Just roll with me on this one. It's.
Let me ask you this: who's taller?
They're both. Lil Wayne, I think, is like 5'5". I think
they've got to be close in height.
He is. So you're in the hip hop realm. So I'll give you a bit of an out there. Right. But Lil Wayne and Flavor Flav, no, to me, that's they don't look anything alike.
Okay, from a distance.
You didn't have your glasses.
No, I don't wear glasses.
You do.
Well, except to read.
Okay.
I don't need them for distance.
Got your reading glasses on.
Got my reading bifocals on.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to see things at a distance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Was he wearing a clock?
He was.
All right.
That's why I thought it would have been a dead giveaway for you.
I didn't see the clock. He was sideways. All right. I'll take that one.
Oh, man.
All right. I didn't think it was that bad, but if you're telling me it was not a good deal, then a prediction, then that's fine. I'll take that. Tom Brady is having second thoughts. Okay. That's fine. He knew what he was getting into. I don't know what he got paid for this. I guess the kids' jokes were off limits, but I don't know. He's reliving this thing now, and he's got this post-roast regret, and somehow he wishes he could go back and change things. Here he is.
Like I said, I loved when the jokes were about me. I thought they were so fun. I didn't like the way that it affected my kids. So it's the hardest part about the bittersweet aspect of when you do something that you think is one way, and then all of a sudden you realize I wouldn't do that again because of the way that affected actually the people that I care about the most in the world. So it makes you in some ways a better parent going through it. Because again, sometimes you're naive, you don't know, or you get a little and like I said, I when I signed up for that, I love when people were making fun of me. And I always said, when I was going through all the Deflategate stuff in 2015, 2016, I watched 3 things on TV. I watched Premier League soccer, I watched golf, and I watched comedy shows. Because every time I turn on SportsCenter, I was like, are you kidding me? Right. So it's I just want to laugh. And so I wanted to do the roast because the guy Jeff Ross became someone that I knew. And then you don't see the full picture all the time. So I think it's a good lesson. For me as a parent, I'm going to be a better parent as I go forward because of it. And at the same time, I'm happy everyone who was there had a lot of fun.
All right, so if all he watched were those 3 shows, comedy shows, then he's seen roast before. And he's certainly seen the roast hosted by Jeff Ross. I've watched a million of these things. I think CB has as well. I've seen all of them. Bruce Willis, Rob Lowe, I've seen them all. And I've seen Nikki Glaser do all of them. I've seen all these guys do them. And I will tell you this, I think his kids are 16, 14, 11, somewhere in that range. All right, so that's fine. And they're going to stumble on this stuff. It's social media, they're going to see the clips. So when he said, I feel bad for my kids, the first instinct was, well, why were they watching or why did they see it? Well, you didn't have to have Netflix to hear the jokes.
Yeah, it's all over social media.
Absolutely. It's everywhere. YouTube, everywhere.
I mean, I was at the gym the other day and CNN was doing a segment. Good idea, bad idea for Tom Brady to do the roast. I mean, this was worldwide, a talking point coming out of this thing. And this, we're a week removed from this? And everybody's still reacting. So I understand that. I don't have kids. I can't put myself in the mindset or the seat of a parent, but I could completely understand now looking back and saying, yeah, you know what? Maybe putting some of that on my kids or the pressure that they felt or hearing their friends talk to them about it or whatever. It's not the greatest thing. You can't always see everything, right, when you're in a situation like that. So I can understand the regret, but maybe that should have been something they talked about prior to the roast popping off is that, hey, all this stuff when it comes to me and my time in New England and all of that, cook me all you want. But the fam and the kids, let's just leave them to the side.
I'd have to go back. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw the clips. Like I said earlier, you didn't have to have it to see it. I've seen probably all I need to see. But if Brady had really done his research, which I assume he and his team did, the stuff he should be really upset about were the sexual jokes. Right? For his kid, the sexual jokes, like the stuff about playing and deflating footballs and Belichick and all. Fine. I think his kids have probably seen all they need to see of that stuff. Like he had to know. He had to know someone was going to go to a place that was R-rated / X-rated. He had to know it. And the fact that he didn't, then he wasn't watching those. No because doubt. I've seen them all, and they all get to that point. And so he put himself in that position. So
real quick, our boy Zoran on Twitter tapped in on Lil Wayne and Flavors Flav, and he dropped this tweet.
Okay.
They are both but ugly. Zoran from the top rope. My goodness.
So I get a couple of points?
No. I'm not.
He said there's something similar, he said.
No, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Isn't that what they say? Some people might look at it.
I will say, just in terms of that topic of Flava Flav versus Lil Wayne, I did see our guy Lavelle on YouTube say he thought Flava Flav was Lil Wayne. Despicable.
Wow. I didn't say they were the same guy. From 20 yards away, I thought, hey, look, there's Lil Wayne.
Oh, man.
I thought he's more relevant than Flavor Flav, so I thought I'd get a few points out of that.
It was a who's who in there, man. It was just our necks were turned all week. Celebrities and athletes all over the place. It was crazy.
All
Good
right,
time, though.
Mr. Who's Who for our show, Adam Schefter up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes Monster Energy and Red Bull and Gatorade and Body Armor. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
Since 1950, Sears Heating and Cooling has been your Central Ohio HVAC expert. Founded by Johnny Sears when gas was just 27 cents a gallon, we're still at the top of our game with thousands of perfect customer reviews. Let Sears Heating and Cooling ensure your AC unit is ready to battle the summer heat ahead. Schedule your AC maintenance today and spring new life into your existing AC unit. From Dublin to Bexley, enjoy the local pricing advantage of doing business with your neighbors at Sears. SearsHeatingCooling.com.
Great coaching can make all the difference, especially when it comes to your money. At Right Pac Credit Union, our financial coaches are on your team. We'll help you create a winning game plan that's customized for your unique needs, so you can make the most of your hard-earned money and live the life you want to live. Best of all, Right Pac Credit Union serves all of Central Ohio, so getting in the game is easy. Let's win together. Stop by one of our Central Ohio member centers to get started today. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA.
FC Series presents Premier League giants Manchester City versus Chelsea. Don't miss the chance to see these great teams live at Ohio Stadium. Get your tickets now at fcseries.com.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You probably heard me talk about Dr. Mark Levy's custom-fit oral appliances to help treat sleep apnea and how they are so much better than using those bulky, uncomfortable CPAP machines. Well, I've been talking about it for years, and the FDA just recently announced a recall of over 18 million CPAP masks. Yikes! These CPAP masks, the ones with magnetic headgear clips, can potentially interfere with certain medical devices. Pacemakers, implantable defibrillators, neurostimulators, aneurysm clips. And if that happens, that can cause injuries not only to yourself if you use these masks, but also your partner as well. Sleep apnea is no joke, and as I've been saying, it affects everyone in the home. So if you've been diagnosed with sleep apnea and you can't tolerate your CPAP machine anymore, or, just flat out worried it could possibly do harm to you, that sort of thing, call Dr. Mark Levy today for your custom oral appliance at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's right. Dr. Mark Levy, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, he's the senior NFL insider for ESPN. He's our friend Adam Schefter, and he's on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Shefty, good afternoon, my man.
Anthony, Matty Ice, what's going on?
All good. We're waiting on the rest of the NFL schedule. I'm curious how, we know what we know so far. We have the international games. We obviously have the season opener. We have the week 1 showdown, Tom Brady's first color commentary game, and the Monday Night Football opener and all that. I think we have the week 2 Thursday night. How do you handle this today? I mean, you probably hear things, get things. How do they want you to handle it at ESPN? Do you get to report as soon as you know, or is there a little bit of we got to build some drama?
I just don't even think about the schedule release that way. It's not like it's free agency. It's not like it's the draft. It's not like there's some breaking news. Like, the opponents are the opponents. Okay, so there may be one in week 2. There may be one in week 4. This is a day, to me, that isn't about hard news. It's about looking ahead and people organizing their calendars in the fall and the winter. And, okay, I love the Bengals, and they're playing the Ravens. They're planning a trip there, or the bye weekend for the Cleveland Browns is this. That's what this is. I'm not in any rush to go break, quote-unquote, break that the Chiefs play in week 11. Ooh, wow. Who cares?
Well, to me, it's more of the Thanksgiving games and the Christmas games. And,
You know what? I agree. And when the schedule comes out, that's what I will look to see. Let me see all the week 1 matchups. I'm curious about all the week 1 matchups, not just the ones in prime time, not just the Jets and 49ers and Monday Night Football. I want to see how I'm going to be spending my Thanksgiving. Which 3 games am I watching, right? Like, yes, I agree. Those are interesting, but it's not like I'm on the phone with NFL official. Like, who we got this day? Like, this isn't what that is.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen, that's why I asked how you handle it. I will tell you, and Maddie and I have discussed, as a fan, though, of a certain team, you're interested in where their bye week is and when they play their rivals and all that stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, by the way, this is a big business, and where this matters, where it most matters is, let's just use the Bengals, for example. Let's say the Bengals are playing a big game this year. Who's the Bengals' biggest road game? You tell me right now the schedule. I don't know it off the top of my head. Who's of the Bengals' road opponents, which is the most attractive to you?
Well, I think we already have that. It's at the Chiefs in week 2. We already know it.
Okay. So we'll just use that. But, I'd like it for a game that's not out there yet. But, okay, week 2. So when that comes out, there's this rush to go book flights to Kansas City from Cincinnati, to go book hotel rooms in Kansas City that weekend.
How about Dallas? How about Dallas? I think they play Dallas on the road this year.
Okay, good example. Cincinnati at Dallas. We don't know when it is. So whenever we hear later at some point today, maybe it quote-unquote leaks. I don't think these are leaks. A lot of these things are just coordinated announcements. Some of the information gets out, to which I say, who cares? But to use that game as an example, the Bengals play at Dallas. So whenever that game comes out, I'm sure there are fans, Bengals fans in Cincinnati, that would like to go to Jerry's World and go to Dallas. So they have to know when to book their flights, the hotel rooms. The price of the hotel room is probably going to go up as soon as we know. So the sooner you can get it, the sooner you can lock it in. Like that's some of the the teams trying to block out up to 200 hotel rooms in a respective city wherever they're going on a weekend, and they have to find a hotel where there's not a convention in that city, where there's not another concert in that city. So this is a challenging day for the traveling departments, the football operations people that coordinate these trips, that are a lot of people behind the scenes that do a lot of work. In fact, I'm glad we talked about that because I want to give them a shout-out tonight on the special, the schedule release special that we have on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus later on. There are a lot of people. Those are the people that this matters most to. Me as a reporter, it's not news that the Bengals are playing in Dallas on November, whatever it is. Like, who cares? But it matters to these people who are trying to coordinate their lives. It matters to fans who are trying to coordinate their lives and get their schedules together. We want to see who's on week 1. We want to see who's on Thanksgiving. We want to see those things. I got it. We're all curious, and it just sets the tone for the year ahead. But again, I don't view it as breaking news.
I got you, Schefter. As you know, the NFL is just everywhere, and they're on so many different platforms now, and Amazon and all these different places. And it looks like now for these Christmas games, we've got a new location for some NFL games. Talk about that.
What's amazing to me is how the NFL continues to find ways to generate revenue and squeeze every dollar out of areas that I didn't know existed before. Like, okay, let's play a Friday night game in Brazil that will stream on Peacock. Now, I don't know the full business model of that and how that translates into more money for the NFL, but I do know this. It does. Let's sell a package to Netflix for, I don't know what that sum is, but we're going to do a 3-year deal with Netflix, which the league has just done. A 3-year deal with Netflix, which is swimming in money, to broadcast at least one holiday game this year on Christmas Day. What does Netflix pay to the NFL to do that? So let's just call it, I don't know, $500 million. It's probably a lot more than that, but it's just found $500 million. It's just incredible. And they're creating these packages out of nowhere, and I guess they have to take that inventory back from CBS or Fox or NBC, not ESPN, because ESPN has the Monday Night Football package, and that's it. But it's amazing to me how they just continue to come up with these packages to sell. international series. Let's divvy up international territories like the world's, the Monopoly board, and every team gets a territory. I don't know how that's going to equate to money, but I guarantee it's going to equate to a lot of money over time. And so the league is, not only is the league entertaining, the league is magnificent at being greedy and making money. Yeah. Magnificent.
Yeah. Got to give it to him. Real quick, Schefter, are we adding another chapter to the Hard Knocks book that's going to involve the New York Giants?
Well, of course, more money. More money. More money. Let's have Cinemex pay us to do a package of we didn't even know existed in a season Hard Knocks package leading into the regular Hard Knocks. That's going to make us more money. It never ends. It's unbelievable. It's a fountain of money pouring into the league. More and more revenue streams from more and more fountains. By the way, I'll go back to one other little vent I have. You're asking me how I attacked this day, which is entertaining to me, how I approach this day, excuse me. And I don't know, by the time we get tonight, we may have the by the time the full schedule is released. Everything may be released by then for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the reason I was asking is because, you're active on Twitter. They may expect you to be active. That's all. I was really more of the, if you had the information. What's that?
Yeah, they don't expect anything from me. I do basically what I want to do. Like whatever. If I think it's relevant and newsworthy, I'll put it out. Like the international games this morning, they wanted that out early so that the people in those international markets could buy their tickets up before they go to. They don't want that coming out tonight because Germany and London and wherever the hell they're playing these games, they'll be asleep then. So let's get them out early. So here's the international schedule. It's not the schedule release show. It's the schedule release week. It's schedule release week. We need to redub this, okay? Because that's how it works.
So if I say to you, the Miami Dolphins are going to play the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving night, that would be news to you.
News? I wouldn't call it news. I would call it interesting. Okay, yeah,
I'm just guessing.
Yeah, that's interesting, Anthony. Sure, if that's true. But by the way, I'm not going to tweet it. We're doing a show tonight. What do I care?
Yeah.
Tweeting the Dolphins are playing the Packers on Thanksgiving night to go, please, whatever. Tune into ESPN 2 and ESPN Plus and we'll have the full breakdown and whatever. Again, it's not news. We know everybody. We just don't know when the games are. It's just like everything else. Everything has become a production.
Yeah.
The combines are a production. The draft is now. OTAs are a production. Rookie symposium. Everything's a production. Everything's a production. I'm just living in the Truman Show. Just trying to be a part of this all. That's all.
Just trying to bring Turkey, family, and Lambeau all together for you, Schefty. So a nice big headline. All right, my man. We will be watching, and that's outstanding. Thanks, bud. Be well. We'll talk again next week.
Have a great day, guys. You got it.
Thanks.
Take care.
See, it is different. It's different for him than it is
He's
the
got bigger fish to fry, and I'm also wouldn't be surprised if he has all of the schedules already.
Well, that's
he's
kind of what I was asked. That's what I was insinuating, that he may have it.
Yeah.
Does he feel the need to release it? That was really
no. And I think at the end he was saying, I don't want to spoil it for the people that are doing the show tonight and for us as fans that are going to consume it. So yeah, he's got a bigger trout and salmon and tilapia to cook up than some of the small fish that are hanging around.
I mean, maybe I'm getting bad info from my sources on that game. Who knows, right?
Streets could be lying.
Absolutely. I was asking CB earlier. Some random Reddit nameless person. Do I take that as fact? He said, don't do it. All right. Hey, by the way, trade noise getting a little louder for a certain star in Ohio. We'll tell you about it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Do you subscribe to the Fans YouTube channel? Well, why not? Catch our best interview, Stupid Man and Bone videos, and live video of our shows as they happen.
You can participate in your neighborhood watch.
Search 971 The Fan and subscribe today.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency, just another way to give your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help you save money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert, and I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. But that's not just a slogan. It's the Care creed, not Creed the band. Yeah! It's the way they live their life and the way they strive to be remembered by you, the customer, at the end of every interaction with Care. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
So there may have been a time in the first segment where I dropped a Little Wayne rather than a Lil Wayne. So I wanted to tell Phil, who was kind of like, I think at first I said Lil Wayne, and then I just morphed into saying it like Little. Yes.
Yeah, he's Lil Wayne. He's got a lot of different nicknames, man. I don't think I could say some of these on the air, but his real name's Dwayne Carter.
Dwayne?
Yeah, there you go. Dwayne Carter.
All right.
From New Orleans. He's a New Orleans boy. Lil Wayne, is he mid-40s with Lil Wayne right now?
And by the way, if he is in the mid-40s, then I get a little break on this.
No, I don't think so. Just take the L on this one, big dog. Just go ahead and take the L on this one. We all take it.
Did Flavor Flav
41.
Okay, so not mid-40s just yet. Okay.
Did Flavor Flav ever have dreads?
I don't know.
Because if he did it sometime in his life.
That's your era, big dog.
Then I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it was.
Just take the L.
I don't want to. I'm telling you,
lay down your shield.
This had dreads at one point, and that's why I got him mixed up from a distance.
This is what I tell my friends all the time when we get into heated debates, and like three of us are telling the one friend that you're just wrong. Just lay down your shield.
If I show you this picture I found a picture of listen, the guy's in his 60s. But if you saw this person from the side or behind, is there a chance that you could have mistaken him?
Probably not for me.
When I show you this picture during the break, and then you'll come back and be honest.
See, he is just not going to give this up. He's not going to give it up.
I'll give it up. I'm just kind of having fun with it. Yeah, I mean, and listen, I'm still on the schedule thing, just briefly. Here's why we care so much. Because the way your schedule unfolds as a fan of that team matters. And it doesn't matter because you're planning that wedding or that trip to grandma's house. It matters in how successful you think your team can be based on the murderer's row or the gauntlet, or look at these road games where they got to fly to the West Coast or East. Like, look how that's why we care.
From Schefter's perspective.
From him, I get it.
I completely understand. For you and I can't wait to see it tonight. I can't wait to roll through all the AFC North schedules. For me, I'm hoping that my Ravens come to Cleveland or come to Cincinnati relatively early because, I'm soft and I can't sit outside in cold weather, so I can't do the, November games and all that. So that's what I'm looking for. And for some people, CB is going to be coming in tomorrow talking about print the shirts for his Browns and all that after he sees the schedule. So, yeah, it's an exciting time for fans. It's a mini holiday for me, the schedule release. I'm all in. I can't wait to see the rookies and some of the high draft picks and when they're going to square off. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
We're going to be here for the game tonight. There is a game tonight for the Cavs.
That'll...
Their stars aren't, or a couple. Donovan Mitchell's not playing.
Yeah, the Celtics might come in wearing all black tonight for the Cavs funeral.
Listen, they've had injuries.
That's it.
They weren't supposed to win the series anyway. Right. It got fun for a second. There was a little hope, a dream of like the massive upset. They couldn't flip the script, and here we are. And so same thing with the T-Wolves. They were probably celebrating. That's why, and now they're down, and they were up 0-2, stealing first two on Denver's floor. But my question to you is, Mitchell is saying all the right things, even though he's not saying anything. And it feels like that they could really, listen, they can pay him more than anybody, right? We talked about Garland and Mobley and building around them. And I'm thinking that at this point in time, this is going to be a very tough decision for him.
Yeah, he's got a player option this offseason that he could pick up for the 25-26 season that would run through that year. That's about $37 million. But it's just a major question mark as far as what is this guy going to do? I don't even know if you're Kobe Altman and Gilbert right now, if you have this answer, because if I'm Donovan, why would you give them that answer right now? I'm sure you want to see some other things come into focus, like what are we doing at head coach? There's some stuff out there about J.B. Bickerstaff and whether he's safe or not. So it feels kind of like Ohtani to me. Maybe it's not the exact same thing when you and I were talking a lot last year about do you take the risk and letting a guy potentially walk for nothing, or do you go down the path of flipping this guy for potential draft capital or a player or two that could really maybe bring you some stability on the other side? So they're caught in a tough spot, but there's just been so much smoke since he came to Cleveland about maybe looking elsewhere, New York and maybe Brooklyn and some other teams I'm sure are going to be in the mix. But, yeah, we're all kind of left in the dark with Donovan as far as what this guy wants and where he wants to play basketball after this season.
They'll know because they'll be able to read him.
Based off the option and whether or not he picks it up. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, right now, I can't imagine they have a clue as to what he's doing. It's not the card you want to play if you're his agent or Donovan at the moment. You want all the options on the board.
Yeah, well, the Cavs know how much money they can give him, and they're willing to give him that money. Yeah. So now you get to see how he reacts to, do I want to, hey, let's wait and see. I've got time. I don't need to make this decision right now. And then they'll force Cleveland's hand then.
And I think he can probably get more money elsewhere. That's the problem. Probably more than 37 somewhere else.
That will be interesting. All right, guys, what else is interesting is potentially you feeling a lack of energy, motivation, and drive. It could be low T. I want you to schedule that health assessment at Low T Center. For established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored, self-injected home testosterone treatments. Average paying of $150 a month. It includes labs and meds. So the most important thing is to find out where you are in the scale. And right now at Low T Center, it's only $25 to get your T level tested. They'll get you those results back in 25 minutes. So make your health, quality of life a priority. The way you feel every day is the most important thing. Go to lowtcenter.com. I want you to book that appointment today. Get in there for the $25. Find out where you are in the scale and see if it's the missing piece to the puzzle. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. All right, Ryan Day spent the day or the morning at the Fan, and he talked about his QB shuffle. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Tri-State Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
FC Series presents Premier League giants Manchester City versus Chelsea. Don't miss the chance to see these great teams live at Ohio Stadium. Get your tickets now at fcseries.com.
If you're about to get engaged or ready to walk down the aisle, your true love deserves a true jeweler, the Diamond Seller. As a true jeweler, we not only have designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. Visit the Diamond Seller today.
New 2024, up to 72 months Aria, up to 36 months Rogue, and 6324.
Reichert Nissan has an announcement to make. 0% financing is now available for up to 72 months. Take a Reichert Nissan Aria home today and pay 0% for 72 months. But that's not all. Reichert Nissan also has 0% financing on Rogue 2. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit. Residency restrictions apply. Offers cannot be combined. Dealer contribution affects consumer cost.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. In case you missed it this morning, Ryan Day was on with Morning Juice, and he talked about the June recruiting weekend.
It's a lot. Picture someone hosts a wedding for, 3-4 hours. Do that for 48 hours with 70 people. When families come in, there might be 13, 14 families in, and they bring in their parents, and they bring in, 3 or 4 other people. And so, you got to get them in the hotels. You got the restaurants. You got, all these different events that are going on. It's a lot of work.
Pass rush specialist Brandon Jordan has left the football program after spending just this spring with the Buckeyes. Cleveland Cavaliers look to avoid elimination tonight as they take on the Celtics. Donovan Mitchell looks like he's out. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, game time decisions. Tip is at 7. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone. Breaking sports news as it happens on The Fan.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus. Windows and doors that go beyond.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Ins and outs this hour. Cam Mellor, Executive Director, College Football Network. We'll do a full examination with Cam.
And schedule overload for us football fans the last 48 to 72 hours, both in the NFL and college football, with ABC announcing their big week 1 triple header yesterday in college football, and then getting little nuggets popping off about Christmas Day games and Netflix. You got Netflix ready to go, big dog, for Christmas?
They're all on Netflix?
I think it's 1 or 2 of the Christmas Day games are on Netflix. That's why I asked Schefter about it, because, there's another platform you got to get ready for.
Don't,
he wasn't here for it.
Don't ask Schefter about the schedule release. He's probably so mad he has to do that show, right? Like, why are we doing this?
Oh, my goodness.
By the way, at the end, when I dropped that to Schefter, so, and by the way, you know where I was trying to get at him. I wanted to find out if he knew, and he just was holding back, right? And they have to prep for the show. There's no way they haven't seen the highlights of the schedule. I think it's just like, this is not what he does. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't want to deal with it. And the fact that he had to deal with it today, I think felt like we all go through that. I don't care, right? I mean, all of that.
We can't care about everything in the world.
Right. So, unfortunately, it is a big deal for the fans for his sake. And all I was trying to do was get out of him, do you know and you don't care? Or do you not know and you don't care? Those are two different things. So at the end when I said, well, what if I told you the Miami Dolphins Thanksgiving night in the nightcapper have to go to Lambeau, and my boy Whiskey Paul has to choke down his elegant farmer apple pie and get to Lambeau in time for the game. What if I told you, would that be news to you? And his answer was, news? Like, he was already playing the semantics game of, I didn't know that, or it may not even be. Like, I was trying to get confirmation, and I still couldn't do it, Matty. I tried my best, but I couldn't do it.
My gut tells me he's had the schedule for a few days now, because he's been leaking out games here or there. I think because of who he is and working for the ESPN platform.
No, he said he does whatever he wants.
No, I know, but he's not. You asked him about tweeting out the games. I'm saying because of who he is and who he works for, I think he has access to all the games.
I would think
so far. So I think that's where we're at with him. What's up, CJ?
I do know that the Broncos on social media posted like some teaser photos for their theme they're going to do for the release, and one of the photos had Peyton Manning in it, I believe, and the other did have Adam Schefter looking through like some binoculars.
So he's in on
I think he's in on it.
And I'm glad you brought that up, CB, because that also is a fun part of the schedule, too, is how great some of these teams do with the schedule release videos and the people that they get involved and all of that stuff. So that'll be a fun watch. Real quick, I mentioned Netflix. It looks like you're going to get 2 games on Christmas Day. And I believe a rumor that's out there is that the Steelers are involved in one of these. And
so it sounds like it's going to be KC and the Steelers, and then it'll be the Texans and Ravens, I believe.
Oh, I'm here for it. Ho, 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 everybody.
What about KC and the Sunshine Band? Is that going to happen?
Cannot confirm that.
You're going to say KC and JoJo. What them? They had some bangers back in the day.
All right, so Ryan Day spent the day here. Must have been an outstanding time as they churned him through the shows, the Morning Juice and Bishop and Friends, and we talked about the biggest story, which was the Ohio State football team has way too many quarterbacks. Like, well, maybe not. Maybe if you have that many, it's okay. The other question started to go down the road I'm thinking of, is there a lean? Is there a lean on this? Now, I don't know if any of the shows, if they were able to get any body language out of them or anything, because the first question I would think would be, okay, we all believe that you didn't go out and get Will Howard because you needed depth. Right? That was not. You had depth. You're good there. you needed experience. You needed leadership. You needed grit. You needed a running quarterback. You needed all that, right? And so, and then the next question would be, if that was confirmed, which it wouldn't be, all right, who's going to back him up, or how tight is the race? All of that stuff, right?
I don't even know, honestly, for me, if I would have even gone down that road with him.
Really?
Because
it's what everyone's thinking.
Yeah, but we've heard him a few times now, and I think you know what you're going to get.
So he's played you then?
No, I don't think he's played anybody. I just think at this point, he's being genuine, and I don't think there is a guy right now. So I think whatever we're going to hear here, I don't think it's going to be too far off from what we've heard prior to the spring game and post-spring game, and that's cool. That's perfectly fine with where we are. It's May, you know, or do you think that he knows right now if they had to play the game, first? You think he knows?
I don't think he knows whether the guy he's going to start will be the guy. I think he kind of knows what he wants to happen. Yeah, I think there's a lean. I don't think it's all everyone's at the same percentage. I don't think that.
No, I don't think it's everyone. Yeah. I think.
But let's just go with Howard and Devin
Yeah, that's what
Brown.
I was going to say. Yeah, it feels to me that those guys would probably be the guys that were. Yeah. What did Mike Tomlin say about their pole position when he was talking about Russell?
He wants to keep the competition going. He doesn't want anybody to relax. He doesn't want anybody to think they own the job. I get that. What he tells them privately and what he tells publicly are two different things. I guess I just come back to that you can't just accept the fact that since he doesn't say anything, they can't ask him anymore. Like, now, I agree with you. Sometimes there's ways to maybe set it up. And maybe the way I'm thinking about it just in my own mind is that get your reaction to every Buckeye fan thinks, well, you just didn't have everything you needed at quarterback. And that's why you went out and get Will Howard. Would that be true to say that? And then see how he reacts to that. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But here he is on keeping all 5 in the program.
Well, it happens in recruiting, and I say this all the time to some of the elite players. I say, one of the recruiting pitches you're going to hear from other schools is don't go to Ohio State. They're loaded. Mm-hmm. Well, Marvin Harrison it didn't matter to him that there was 4 or 5 stars in that room, or the fact that Travion embraced when Quinn came in, and Quinn came in knowing Travion was going to be here. But it's the same thing in that quarterback room. If you want to come to Ohio State, you're going to want to compete, and that's the way we do it in the offseason. That's the way we do it on the field. We want to compete at the highest level. The cool thing is, you make it here, you make it anywhere.
That's right.
But I think what's most important about the quarterback's room is that they have to feel like they're getting better, that they're getting developed, because that's just as important as anything as a quarterback. You can go to a lot of places, maybe you can play, but are you really getting developed? I think these guys believe in that.
So that's what, by the way, that's what Brian Kelly was trying to say. That's what he was trying to say, I think, when he was talking about that we need to develop people. We can't just pay them. We got to pay them and develop. I think that's what he's trying to say. So Bo had that conversation with him about the quarterbacks, and that, the funny line about if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, very much like New York. But I would say that if these guys, they trust that they have a shot. Now, this day and age, we don't know, and you and I have talked about this. Will Howard may have come here not knowing whether he'd be the starter, but he knew one thing. He knew what his NIL deal would be. That he probably did know. That wasn't a guess.
So that's stamped. That's
right.
That's signed, sealed, and delivered. Send me your routing numbers. Thanks for coming to Ohio State. Here's a nice chunk of change for you. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking, could that be part of the reason why some of these guys do stick around, right? Because when you aren't getting paid to sit somewhere, that's a tougher pill to swallow, I would have to imagine. But if you're one of these young guys that's kind of forecasting at least for the 2024 season, and maybe you have a feel if you're Lincoln or Air or Julian at the moment to say, you know what, it does feel like, between Devin and Will, those are going to be the guys. You know what, maybe I'm okay with hanging back for a year because of, maybe some coin I'm getting. I don't know. That's a part of the scenario that I just started thinking about too, is maybe why some of these guys aren't as quick to jump to the portal as maybe we've seen in years past.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm saying to you that Howard may have come here thinking that my NIL deal represents my importance to the program, so I can make that leap of, well, if I have this NIL deal and I'm getting this piece of the pie, and only they're the ones that want to direct that to me, then that makes me feel like I am the guy. I mean, Julian Sain transferred as a freshman, right? Aaron Nolan came in with the recruiting class. Those guys may not have had that leverage to feel like, hey, I could be the guy. Now, maybe they think that the deal is still good. I want to stay here. My future is still bright here. But the Will Howard situation is the interesting part. And here is Ryan Day, how he's handling the reps in the offseason.
There's been conversations about it for sure, and we're going to have to be creative. We've done some things. We've had, in the preseason, had 2 fields going to make sure we're getting enough reps for everybody involved. But like you said, we're going to have to be really good and execute a good plan.
Yeah, I mean, you want, like I said before, you want everybody to feel like they have a shot. And even if you don't, you want to make the guy that you think is the guy feel the pressure. That's part of it. You want to get the most out of him.
Yeah, but you also got to be careful, too, that you get everybody ready. I understand the competition part of that, but at some point in time, you got to turn this thing over to the dude, right, and get him ready for game number 1 and all those other games. I'm never a big fan of the quarterback battle spilling in to the season unless it's absolutely neck and neck when we get to, that Thursday or Friday before the first game of the year. So I think this thing hopefully will be figured out by week 2, week 3 of training camp. I always think that's best for a team to know that, hey, this is the leader of the offense, and that way he feels comfortable in what he's doing. But the good thing here, though, for everybody involved and, for the fans and all of that, is that Coach Day just went through this a year ago, right? So this isn't new to him. He's dealt with this before as a coach. He's dealt with these things, I'm sure, as a player. So you flip the page from 2023 to 2024 as a coach, and I'm sure he learned maybe some things last year that can make him better in his decision-making and splitting up the reps and feeling the vibe of a locker room and all the stuff that was going on just a season ago.
Devin Brown was in 6 games last year. Will Howard had, 4 big years at Kansas State. They want to be able to run the quarterback in the red zone. He has said that out loud. He's got 2 guys that can certainly do that. Guys with experience that can do that. Will, who's got a lot more than Devin, but they both have experience and they both can do that. Yeah. So clearly to me, that's kind of where this is between Howard and Devin Brown, and everybody knows that. The other CB, what was about picking the day. So how this sets up, Bo asked him about when he believes he could come to that decision.
It's going to be a huge part of our season, is the quarterback play and how well the quarterback plays. I mean, we know that. We know how important the offensive line play is going to be. We know how important the quarterback play is going to be. We're not shying away from that, And typically, the defense is going to be strong, and how well they play late in the season is going to be critical, but it always comes down to the quarterback, and so so that's a big part of it. In terms of a deadline, I don't like to do that. Because this is something where a lot of those guys are working towards it, and I want to make sure that we're doing what's right by them, but at the same time do right by the team to make sure that we're prepared. And I think the way that things turned out last year, it kind of went into the first couple games of the season. That's not ideal. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't like to do that again this year. But it's gonna come down to playing the best players, and I say that all the time. Like, we don't have time to not play the best players. So they'll be in competitive situations, and may the best man win.
May the best man win. I think it's well said. Like, he knows what he's doing, and he's got a few good options there. I think the thing for Devin is, does he truly know what Devin is all the time in game action? Because I don't. He sees him every day. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned the small sample size for Devin, and even last year, that was him helping out in the run game. What can Devin do to get the ball to Carnell Tate and Brandon Ennis and all those guys consistently? And to your point about the red zone, I know he could be a weapon down there, as can Will Howard, because he had a bunch of his rushing touchdowns last year at Kansas State in those, first, third, second, and goal situations. So that's going to be a nice weapon to have. But I think one of the big things that jumped out to me in that last clip was, whoever the quarterback is this year, the defense is going to, I think, put this offense in situations to where they're not going to be asked to be Superman, because I think the defense should be really good again.
Yeah, and that goes to the experience mode of all this, right? Knowing what to do. He said in the spring game about getting 4 yards on first down, converting third down, staying on schedule, being that guy. Devin Brown, in the spring game, took off and ran twice. We know he can. Mm-hmm. How he can throw the ball, I thought he had some nice touch in the spring game. But Will Howard just brings something to the table that they're hoping, with that record as a starter, Kansas State, and all that. But the completion percentage was the big one I pointed out earlier. Was Not like Will Howard comes in here and is some kind of 70% passer.
Clean that up a little bit, for sure.
And he's got the weapons to do it. All right, we'll come back, play a little ins and outs. That's next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
You walk into your bathroom every morning and every night, so why not have it be something great? Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. You've been thinking about it, so do it. Let my friends at the Bath Authority transform yours into whatever you envision. With the Bath Authority, every unit can be custom built by you with the premium accents and accessories that you want. And it can all be installed in as little as 1 day by certified factory technicians. And right now, the Bath Authority is giving you $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while. Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
I'm Scotty Vegas, and I just hit on my biggest win of the year. I called Maxima Concrete to create my ultimate sports driveway, and they delivered better than hitting that huge parlay. The neighbors wondered why I just go out and stare with a big smile at the ground. It's because Maxima Concrete gave me the driveway for all my ultimate pickleball battles, my game-winning basketball shots against the kids, and an area to make memories forever. Maxima Concrete does patios, walkways, driveways, and more. Get your free estimate at maximaconcrete.com.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Get the best quality outdoor supplies now at Menards. Whether you're a bird enthusiast or simply enjoy the sight and sounds of nature, our Enchanted Garden Black Oil Sunflower Seed bird food is a must-have year-round. Black Oil Sunflower Seed is on sale now through May 19th. Check out our wide selection of pet and wildlife items in store or online at menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glow Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glow Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are pretty cloudy right now with some widespread showers. Those continue through midday before slowly tapering off this afternoon and into the evening. By 4 or 5 o'clock, we're mostly dry except for a stray shower here or there. Skies begin to clear shortly after that, and we'll see a little bit of sunshine before sunset, helping our temperatures. We're starting in the 60s and ending in the mid to upper 60s. Columbus hitting 69. I'm meteorologist Madison Wright with your Doppler 10 forecast on The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
Chief Fargo was on last night. I saw the scene with Jose Feliciano. No complaints. All right, CB, what do you have today?
All right, since the NFL has decided to become the Grinch and steal Christmas away from the NBA, it is now another day where the NFL is going to dominate. Now, you have a choice. In my scenario, you have a choice to choose which day between Christmas and Thanksgiving would you rather see your team play on. But really, to frame it as an in or out, are you in or out on having a Christmas Day game for your team over a Thanksgiving Day game?
I'm out because I am mad at Roger Goodell and the NFL for what they've done to Adam Silver in the NBA. At the end of the day, it's more money for them to make, and they're never going to leave money on the table. So I'm never going to knock anybody for getting a bag, but my goodness, I'm torn between two things I absolutely love. And the tradition of the 4 or 5 games all day long on the NBA schedule, I'm torn because I'm always going to watch the NFL. So the NBA is going to lose a little bit from me as a fan. So I got to be out on this. I got to be out. I don't like what the NFL is doing, but they hit up Netflix, and like Schefter was saying, like I'd love to know the check that they had to cut to get the NFL over on Netflix, like per game. It's probably like $50 million per game. I don't even know. It's probably some stupid number.
But in this scenario, you're asking us whether if our team had to pick one. So
if you were forced to play in one, would you rather play
or Christmas?
Yes, correct.
Give me Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I would think I would stay on Thanksgiving. I'll tell you why. Because that's the most traditional day. They play on Thursday. They play on Sunday. They play on Monday. They play some games on Saturday, obviously, too, in the playoffs. With Christmas Day, we just don't know from year to year. I guess if we get the future calendars on which day it will land. So you could have a Tuesday. Just wouldn't feel right. So now if Christmas falls on a Sunday and all that, or a regular day the NFL plays, then I feel like I might be able to switch to that. But I do like that. We're so ingrained now for Thursday football. My team's playing on Thanksgiving. That is outstanding. However, unless you're in that nightcap game, you're always going to either be at Detroit or at Dallas. It'll always be a road game for my team. But when I saw what Randy Moss did to those boys on Thanksgiving years ago, I'm still living off of that.
I want to hear those stats eventually. I know he was going crazy, but find that for me if you will. Go ahead, CB.
But also the negative side of it is if it goes bad for you and your team. And I can think the thing that's going to stick with me forever is watching Baker Mayfield throw 3 interceptions in Lambeau Field a couple years ago, which was not a great game.
That did happen. Yeah, that's tough.
I don't know. Real quickly, I don't know how many catches he had total, but he did have 3 touchdowns in that game for 163 yards. I don't know if those were his only 3 catches.
Yeah.
Like Lynn Swann, by the way, secret, he's going to come on with us tomorrow.
Okay.
So Lynn Swann in Super Bowl 10 against the Cowboys, I believe, caught only 4 passes. But they were massive catches, circus catches. One was for the big touchdown that Terry slung to him. But I'd have to go back and see. And, listen, that year just pains me, Moss and whole 1998 and all that. But
CB, play the interception call.
No, that's not from 98.
I just want to hear it,
That's not from 98.
Play the interception call. But Randy Moss was just...
I need to get the box score on how many. If it was just those 3.
Brett Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter. I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna tell you something again.
I love it.
So I never told you this part of the story.
Yeah.
This part of the story is that was my last day on air at Channel 6.
The day of that.
I had to go on that Sunday night.
No.
Sign off.
In a horrible mood.
It's just the typical Viking stuff. I mean, it's nothing new to me. but that was the night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
It's like they set me up in some dunking machine, and then I left the dunking machine and went to throw a pie in this guy's face, and then went from that to on the air and all that.
I didn't know that.
That's on that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Man.
So, but the 1998 Thanksgiving game where I don't have his catches, though. I have touchdowns 1, 2, and 3.
What year?
98.
I'll find it.
Yeah, Thanksgiving 98. It was incredible.
Go ahead, CB.
One was a flea flicker, by the way.
All right, question number 2. We do have the international schedule for the 2024 season. Let's look at the London games specifically. There are 3 of them. The Jets versus the Vikings, the Jaguars versus the Bears, and then the Patriots also face the Jaguars. My question to you is, are you in or out on one of those 3 matchups actually being a very good game?
Yes, it's Aaron Rodgers facing the Vikes.
Okay.
I mean, it's bad. You want to talk about rolling back the clock a little bit. Absolutely. Now he's beaten us. He has more wins against us than losses. But this will be a different little shade going into this game. I mean, it's a 4-time NFL MVP. Play him again. Let's do it. Coming off the torn Achilles. I know the Vikes won't be nearly as good as the Jets, but I think JJ will want to make that a big game. I'm going to assume he's going to be quarterbacking that night on Thanksgiving. But yes, JJ McCarthy against Aaron Rodgers, Vikes, Jets, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that.
Could get a little nasty for JJ going up against that Jets defense, but I hear you storyline-wise. That's a good one. And you got to love this. This is a 2:30 kick, so you don't have to get up at 9 a.m. for this. I thought about you when I saw this.
Oh, no, Thanksgiving's perfect that way.
This is 2:30 over in London for you. I'm actually looking at this Jags and the Bears game, CB, because I cannot wait to see what type of product we get from Trevor Lawrence this year. Because I think after this, some people are going to be like, you know what? I'm out. He's just kind of a guy. He's good. He's not great. Coming out of college, he was supposed to be the next star. So you've got that attached to the number 1 overall pick and a bunch of fun weapons everywhere around him. So give me Jags and give me the Bears.
Final question real quick. Are you in or out on the slow leak of the schedule, or do you want it all at once?
I like a little tease. A little tease that never hurt nobody, you know? I like a little tease every once in a while. Like, show me a little bit of the lingerie. Don't show me everything.
Wow. Leave something to the imagination is what my boy Ice is saying. Right. Don't come out all naked. I agree with you. I think the slow drip is better.
Yeah.
I almost think they've gone a little bit too much right to this point, although I actually lied. No, they haven't given out the big ones yet. The opener, I get it. We knew the Chiefs would be playing. Yeah, no, the slow drip. If we can make it to tonight to see the old peel and reveal, so that kind of feeds into your line, too, about don't show it all to me. Peel and reveal. By the way, he had 3 catches for 3 touchdowns, 163
good day
yards.
at the office.
Yeah.
Good day.
Finished the day 3 for 3, $163, and 3 scores.
Yeah. He was different.
Indeed.
He was different.
We just couldn't get out of our own way against the Atlanta Falcons. We just couldn't do it.
Or the
I don't know how I
Saints.
can look back on 98. Well,
Or the
2010
Eagles.
maybe, but 98 was 98.
You got a rough history.
That was it.
I'm sorry.
No, the Eagles, that was okay. We're on the road. I mean, yes, we against Foles, and we scored first, and they teased me again. Told you that story about the mental hedge. I should have bet everything I had on the Eagles and bought my way either out of the sadness or into the Super Bowl. And now that I haven't done it, I'll do it because I wanted to do that one pure.
Okay.
No money riding.
Maybe
Let's do
JJ will
this
bring
old
you
school.
one. Maybe JJ's going to bring you one.
Bring me one of what? Another disappointment?
Lombardi, baby.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back with Cam Mellor, Executive Director of College Football Network, and find out if there is somebody that's going to crash this party now that they've expanded. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The nightmare of the cleared drain. Those drain clearing specials from the other guys seem like a great deal until you realize the only thing really going down your drain is your money. At the Waterworks, we mean clean. Our service doesn't just clear your drains, it cleans them too. It's done right the first time, so that nightmare of a drain becomes a dream come true. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call 614-232-2222 to get started.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Always at the forefront of new technology, Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
No, see.
Afflicted. No, affected was right.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No,
Adios.
but
Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Are you hangry for Buckeye baseball? Matt Andrews brings you every Big Ten game on our family of fan networks. 1460 AM, the Fan's HD2, and the Fan app. Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. You know what Rich is up to? He's got Memorial Day sales going all month long. Interest rates starting as low as 1.90% on the 2024s. The Civic LX sedan, the Accord LX sedan, and CRV LX two-wheel drives. And he's going to throw you an extra $1,000 for your trade. He wants to give you the best deal in town, and you will not be disappointed. Germain Honda of Dublin is my Honda dealer in Central Ohio, and hopefully yours, on Sawmill Parkway just south of 270.
Listen up, gamers. Mountain Dew has always been your go-to for a refreshing citrus kick. Now it's also your go-to for gaming rewards. With Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards, you just look for codes under the caps of specially marked 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew. Enter those codes online to bank points, and then redeem them for awesome gaming gear. Everything from gift cards, game copies, controllers, consoles, custom Mountain Dew gaming gear, and more. Join Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards now.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at MountainDewGaming.com and 1525 voter prohibited.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Listen, learn, lay the points. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, a lot of football in the offseason to discuss, especially college, and we bring on our friend Cam Mellor, the executive director of College Football Network, CFN 365, on the old X machine. Good to have you, my man.
Always glad to be here. Thanks as always for having me.
Cam, we believe we know what Ohio State's offense can be this year, so I'm going to start with Georgia and ask you about what you expect their offense to be without Brock Bowers, without Ladd McConkey, and whether it will still stack up with being as good as we've seen it, or did they have some challenges now offensively?
I think if we were to be in a world where Carson Beck did not return to Athens, we would be talking about that in that light. I think this team has done a great job under Kirby Smart of doing what we've seen in the past 20, 30 years, reloading, not rebuilding. And I think that's what maybe sets them apart and puts them almost in the driver's seat for the SEC this year. I think, yes, we'll have some hiccups. We'll figure it out. But with how loaded they are in that backfield and, players like Dominic Lovett, who is just sitting there on the verge of another breakout season we've seen glimpses. I think there's enough, and I think they're going to have a talented enough and experienced enough offensive line to get over any hiccups as they adjust to what their offense looks like this season.
So, Cam, yesterday we got an announcement, from ESPN and ABC that they're rolling out this Week 1 tripleheader that's going to include Clemson and the Georgia Bulldogs that you were talking about. And in the 3:30 slot, we're going to get Miami and Florida. And Miami's interesting to me, Cam, because of just some of the acquisitions they brought in through the transfer portal, and their head coach and Mario Cristobal's been down there for a little bit of time. Just your thoughts on this Miami Hurricanes squad this year and what you think they're going to be rolling out there on Saturdays.
The sum of all their parts is what is interesting to me. Is this a team of transfer portal all-stars, or is this a team that is actually going to be able to withstand the rigors of a college football conference or a college football full 12-game schedule? A game against the Gators doesn't necessarily scare me, so to speak, but you'll have to get acclimated as quick as possible to this team that is just that. We just saw the success of a Colorado team, not calling Miami Colorado by any stretch of the imagination, but a bunch of ragtag guys from all over the country having just barely a spring, a summer, and a fall workout, have some splash success. So I think that could be this Miami team, and then they'd have to figure things out come week 3, week 4. But yeah, it is a very interesting team. I'm very excited to see what Cam Ward can bring to the table. The get of Damian Martinez, though, at running back, to me, might be the biggest kicker because they have a reliable guy that they can give the rock to that backfield for consistency.
Cam Mellor with us, College Football Network on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. All right, so Ohio State goes to Oregon week 6. And the question I've always had about Oregon and even USC and other teams from the Pac-12 is, do they know how to play defense? Will they be able to play defense in this conference? Do they know what it's going to take? Is the physicality going to be something completely shocking to them again? Or do you think they're prepared for it a little bit this time around?
They might be a little bit more prepared for it for 2 reasons. Yes, they got a little bit of the taste of it with their home and homes for the past few years. Then they also have a lot of transfers that have had their, put their time in either the SEC, the Big 12, or even smaller schools that have played up against competition. And so to me, I think if you have a person like Jordan Birch, I think is that the player that really stands out to me, the defensive end from South Carolina, a guy who he played a bunch in the SEC, and they have a few other players in that same mold that they've been able to put forth. Are they the team that scares me defensively? No, but can they put up as much points as possible? Yes, and so that is where the scary thing to me of this Oregon offense, if Dylan Gabriel plays the lights-out football we've seen from him over the course of his career, his illustrious career, that's a scary offense and a scary team overall.
Sticking with a similar theme, but I want to ask you about a different team now, and that's USC, a program we're going to get very familiar with here in Big Ten country. Like Lincoln Riley, we know, Cam, right? The offense is probably going to be electric, but flipping it over to the other side, do you think now, does he have anything figured out defensively? Have you liked any of the moves they made on defense? That way they can offer up any type of resistance on that side of the ball.
So if you look at what they did in this offseason, what was their biggest acquisition, so to speak, through the transfer portal, through college football free agency? And the 2 players that really stood out to me were the players that Jonathan Smith didn't get to come to Michigan State with him from Oregon State. And that's Achille Arnold and then Easton Macarenas Arnold, the linebacker. So you have 2 players that were their prime targets, the first players that they went out and got. I don't know why it took so long for Lincoln to fire Alex Grinch, his defensive coordinator last season, after multiple 50-burgers hung on him. But yes, they have righted the ship. I think he figured out what was wrong with him. And I think the defense might actually, I don't know if we're going to surprise people, then we'll see them surprise people, but it's a talented defense. It's been talented. They were able to recruit really well. And then with this portal acquisition, just those 2 off the top of my head, and then a few other players, it will come down to Miller Moss and Jaden Maivea, whoever wins the quarterback battle and however well they do perform. But I think this defense is not a defense that's going to allow multiple 50-point games this season to be much better than last year.
You brought up Jonathan Smith, and he's now another head coach coming into this conference up there at East Lansing, coaching up the Spartans. Like, what are we getting here for the folks that didn't watch a bunch of Oregon State football? What type of head coach do you think they landed up there at Michigan State?
If there was a team that played Big Ten football that was not in the Big Ten last year and the year before, and under their former head coach, it was the Oregon State Beavers. This is a run-first team, a team that was not scared to run QB power. and then incredibly talented, gifted, athletic offensive linemen. There's a reason we saw Fuaga go in the top 10, top 15, wherever he went in the NFL draft from Oregon State. It is a team that's coached up right in the mold of a Big Ten offense. The defense had some suspect plays here and there, but I think you can keep players maybe a little bit more so in East Lansing coming forward in the next few years. But to me, no, it is a run-first team that wants to get the ball to tight ends as well through the passing game and up the seams. It is a Big Ten offense that he likes to run, and it'll be very interesting to see how well Aiden Childs gets acclimated to the Big Ten. But I think they have a year out, but I think that could be a team that really startles people over the next few seasons.
Cam, let me fire one more at you, and I'll ask you about Texas. And they don't play Georgia till, mid to late October. They do have Michigan on the road in week 2, and everyone's expecting them to win that game. For some reason, they stumbled in that game or something got weird. Would then the quarterback controversy start to rear its ugly head a little bit with Arch Manning versus Quinn Ewers, or is that just a non-story the whole season? Sark will stick with him because he should.
I think it's a non-story. Yes, I think it's an overhyped. He might be an overhyped player himself, Quinn Ewers. But to me, no, there's no quarterback controversy. The controversy is whether Arch will stay another year or two behind Quinn Ewers if this gets to him. It seems like he will. The going would have to get a lot worse, I guess, before a game in Ann Arbor would scare us off. I think it will obviously be a media discussion point for us on social media, in print, and online. But I do think that he is Coach Sark's guy, and there's a reason he stuck back. And it was because he has the rock and he has free reign with the program. So I do think it would take a little bit more than just a stumble against Michigan.
That'll be interesting, man. Last 15 seconds. Is there a wild card team this year, a team that's going to make this top 12 and then would be really upset potential to take a big boy out?
I guess you can't call him a big boy, but to me, I'll look directly at that Houston team in the Big 12. You can not call him a big boy, but if Willie Fritz can get his team that made this Tulane team and Tulane roster incredibly talented, watch out for Houston and Willie Fritz. And then I will say this. Don't call Indiana the little brother anymore, the team that might surprise people if you go into an Indiana game this year in the Big Ten and think you're going to walk right over them.
Interesting. All right. We'll keep an eye on that, my man. Thanks for jumping on. Always appreciate it. Thanks, Cam.
My pleasure, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cam Mellor, Pro Football Network on the Bryant Heat and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, guys, you've been feeling a little tired, maybe grumpy, noticed a little lack of motivation and drive, gained some weight, lost some muscle. Yeah, you've probably noticed, maybe you're trying to dismiss it, but it could all be signs of low testosterone levels. Low T Center is the place to go. They'll make it quick and easy to get those levels checked, simple blood test, on-site lab. They spit the results back to you in about 25 minutes. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment. They'll verify that for you. It's not your typical doctor's office. You're not going to be waiting a long time. Just for us guys, their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone, and they customize the treatment for every patient. Affordable, convenient treatment options. They can ship it directly to your home each month, so there's no need to drive to the center for weekly visits. But right now is the important time to strike. $25, get your T level tested, results back in 25 minutes. Go ahead and make your health a priority. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. We continue with the Ryan Day sound from today here in studio on preparing his team to go the distance. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Tri-State Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Every shot, every goal, ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find special offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Have you heard? Skyline now has nachos with a layer of queso blanco under that amazing Skyline chili and cheese. Try them straight up or get the deluxe nachos with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and sour cream at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Ohio Mulch Landscape Supply.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and here's to Ohio Mulch celebrating 40 years of making the community a greener and more beautiful place, one garden at a time. Don't miss out on the opportunities to elevate your outdoor space and to be part of a journey towards the next 40 successful years. Check out our promotions online at ohiomulch.com.
Ohio Mulch Landscape Supply. Greener, greener, better.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Schedule your free in-home estimate today, and for every 2 windows you buy, the next 2 are free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply. Check them out online, uwd.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Because comfort keeps us going. So grab your family, your friends, and your Wrangler layers for some fresh air adventures together. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
From taking on extra shifts to the years of hard work, the success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and work experience. Plus, we offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need. Begin your next success soon. Undergraduate classes start June 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Sears Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, it's going to be a long, great season for Ohio State. They're hoping they can go the distance. We've heard all about, the Fab Phenom and Jeremiah Smith and all about that and trying to live up to the expectations that Marvin Harrison Jr. left behind. But we know the buzzer on this team is they've got it all, offensively and defensively. And will they have it all at the end of the year? That's the key thing. And you're talking about a major NFL-type schedule if all dreams are realized. And here's Ryan Day in studio here at the Fan talking about that long haul and preparing his team to go the distance.
When you talk about the NFL, and Chip's been in the NFL, Tim Walton's been in the NFL, Brian Hartline, James Laurinaitis, these guys played in the NFL. I've had an opportunity to coach in the NFL. So when you get around, the NFL, you realize that it is a marathon. I mean, it is a long run all the way to the end of the season. And the biggest games are at the end of the season. So you have to be playing your best football at the end of games and at the end of the season. So that's the first thing, and you got to make sure that you have a veteran enough, crowd that understands that part of it. Because when you're 18, 19, 20, sometimes you can run out of gas. Forget the guys in the NFL. The guys in the NFL can run out of gas. So what we have to do is we have to first off have a plan for injuries, because in the NFL you can sign guys off of waivers. You bring guys on the team. That doesn't work that way in college. They don't just you saw that last year with certain things that went on towards the end of the season that started getting goofy. And that was the first sign. It's like, okay, we got to make sure that we're we're planning this thing out accordingly. So you got to have enough depth, and you got to play depth. Because of the length of the season, but also to prepare guys to play if there are injuries moving forward. So it's something that we knew coming off of last season we had to do a great job of. I think we've done that. We're still trying to put a couple last pieces together, and then it just goes about once the team's intact. Finally, we're getting close to that right now. We're probably about a week or two away from having an exact feel for who our team's going to be. And then we just got to go about developing the high end part of the roster, and then obviously the young guys coming in have got to get on the field.
The first thing that went through my mind was, well, that's why getting that first-round bye would be so massive. Like, getting your team that rest at that point of the year.
No doubt,
if you've played 13 games, I'm presuming, you're going to be in the Big Ten championship, and you got that, and you've earned that, which they should. I mean, I don't see too many places where Ohio State would be outside the top 4. However, you never know. If you lose that game at Oregon or something goes weird against Penn State, then all of a sudden you might be playing in that first game, which they can do. They're young, strong, but he's right. It's trying to run that gauntlet, but the benefit of it is that you're going to be in it. You're going to be in the tournament. There's no weird loss that's going to take you out of the tournament.
And, I think there was a lot there in that answer from Coach Day, which is really good. I mean, off the top, he mentioned the experience that some of the coaches have, which I think can pay off. But there's a large portion of responsibility, too, that's going to be on the players to make sure, hey, my conditioning's right. You know what I mean? As a player, to get me to the final leg of the season. And that way, if we're playing in the semifinal game or the national championship game, my body can hold up. And I'm not gassed from playing more games than I've ever had to play maybe in your entire life. So clearly they're going to have a staff and, nutritionists and all those people to help. But it is partially on the players, too, to make sure that mentally and physically I'm ready to go for this grind. And it also can be a really good thing for the coaching staff as a sales pitch now when you are recruiting at the high school level or in the portal to say, hey, look, we got a long road ahead. Like, you can be a young guy and you can get in the mix here and we can get you some reps early on in the season. And maybe when we get to the middle of the schedule, right at the back end of the schedule, you can be a valuable player for us to roll out there every once in a while. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these coaches monitor all of this. And for the coaching staff, when you get into training camp with limiting the hits that your running backs and receivers and defenders take, that way everybody feels good about going into a year. And we know in this sport, you're never going to feel great. It's just football at the end of the day. A lot of these guys are going to get banged up. But the journey, no doubt, got a lot tougher with this expanded playoff.
Yeah, and like I said, if ideally they'd play 16, right? They'd earn that first-round bye, and then they'd play a quarterfinal, semi, and a final. And you'd add that to the 13 that they already played before. Ryan Day also talked about getting one of his big players in the portal, a kid that transferred from Ole Miss after a couple seasons. 2 years left of eligibility here at Ohio State, but had just a massive season, 2,800 yards or almost 2,800, 31 touchdowns in his 26 career games, at Ole Miss. But he did have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with the Rebs, and he was the SEC Freshman of the Year. He talks about the recruitment.
I think once he decided to go into the portal, everyone's recruiting him across the country, as you can imagine. But when you have someone like Davison Igbinosun, who's been at both programs, give testimony to what it is like here, I think that was really important. And, when he decided that, I'm interested in Ohio State, the first thing I said was, well, Travion Henderson's coming back, and then the first person I called was Trey, and Trey says, can I sleep on it a little bit? And the next day he says, Coach, if it's going to help our team, I think it's going to be great. And Quinn Sean said the same thing. And I think, Quinn Sean might tell you right now, like he likes being around. If you want to be elite, you want to be around elite-minded people.
Yeah.
And that's what's in our locker room right now. And so I can even see a change in him and just the way he's approaching every day in terms of workouts, the way he practiced from day one until the last practice of spring practice. And so, just being in the city of Columbus, being around Ohio State, being on this stage, being around the resources we have, and more importantly, around the people we have, just raises your level up a little bit. And I think that you're starting to see that with him.
Trip, go ahead, man.
No, I was going to say real quick, because you laid out the numbers, and the dude can absolutely go, and he should be a special player. I thought the Travion part of that was very interesting. that Coach Day, hit him up, let him know what was going on. And I think that was a real human moment that Travion had to go through, that you don't just give the knee-jerk canned answer of, yeah, Coach, I'm going to be the team player. Like, probably took a little time. Like, yeah, I need to think about this here because you're just not bringing in a nobody. Quinshon Judkins is a stud. Like, that dude is going to be a beast this year for the Scarlet and Gray. So I like that, Coach Day took us behind the scenes there a little bit with Travion. And then, as he said, he slept on it and woke up and realized that I can probably still get mine because of the long journey that we just got done talking about, and being paired with Quinshon can keep me healthy and keep me upright, which we know Travion has had some hiccups here and there when it comes to being available all the time. So that was a real moment that I like to hear right there.
Travion's got some miles on him. Almost 450 carries in 3 seasons at Ohio State. Now, the interesting part about that is that Quinshon Judkins actually has much more in the 2 years that he was at Ole Miss. He's got almost 550. So he's got almost 100 more carries on him in 2 years than Trey has in 3. So I think they both understand kind of where they are, and they probably weren't afraid of giving up those moments. Now, do they all want to be the man in the moment? Of course. They want to compete. Should only get them better. But it goes back to that original comment about getting to the end. 16, 17 games. Yeah. Who's going to be there at the end physically at their best?
You know what else? Because that's great. I'm glad you brought up the carries, but what else this can do in a good way to limit these guys' touches to a certain degree this year is it may make you look a little better to the NFL, right? You don't want that guy that has a whole bunch of work coming out of college. You can only avoid so much of that, but I think that can really benefit those guys down the road in the form of individual stuff and hopefully team success as well.
Yeah, listen, it's a balance, More carries, the better, but less carries, less opportunity to get hurt, get dinged, get tweaked, all that. And here they are. All right, good stuff in the Buckeye Bulletin today. We come back, top of the hour, SportsCenter update, and we will jump back in with a deep dive. Kirk Cousins got to a microphone and was asked about that crazy scenario on draft night. Is he ready to be pushed? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar, whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. The crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Every bite is better with Pepsi.
Celebrate 30 years of family fun at the Wilds.
Book a cabin stay and a zipline adventure over animal pastures. This is family fun. This is the Wilds. Visit thewilds.org and make memories together.
Open your door to a gorgeous Nature Stone garage floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. This month only save up to 50% during their May is for Moms sales event. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Netflix is jumping into the NFL game as the network announced today they will broadcast 2 games on Christmas Day this season and at least 1 game on the holiday the next 2 years as well. We will find out the full NFL schedule tonight at 8. Cleveland Cavaliers look to avoid elimination tonight as they take on the Celtics at 7. Donovan Mitchell looks like he's out. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, game time decisions. At 9:30, Oklahoma City hosts Dallas. That series is tied at 2. The Cincinnati Reds go for a series win in Arizona against the Diamondbacks at 3:40 this afternoon. The Cleveland Guardians go for a sweep over the Rangers at 8:05 tonight down in Texas. NHL playoffs tonight. Dallas hosts Colorado at 8. The Stars lead that series 3-1. The Crew is north of the border to face CF Montreal at 7:30. This one's sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today over at naturestone.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, welcome back in. Final hour of the program. Kevin Oestreicher, Locked On Ravens, 2:33. So we're still waiting on we're waiting on leaks. The old leaks file here.
Free leak like Petey Pablo?
Absolutely. NFL schedule release. All right, give me the particulars on this. This is a TV show tonight at 8 o'clock.
If you go to the NFL Network, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, they're going to have you covered. All different characters all over the place. It'll be, look, I'm excited. I'll be sitting down.
But here's the thing. If you don't want to wait the 30 minutes or so it'll take for your schedule to get up, just follow your favorite team's social media account. It will be out at 8 o'clock.
They'll drop it like it's hot.
I'm kind of hoping that rumor I heard about the Packers-Dolphins Thanksgiving night turns out to be true. That way I can always say that maybe I had it before Schefter, but as we both know, when we talked to him, was like he probably had everything in his little briefcase full of blues today because he was not real happy with talking about the schedule because it didn't really mean much, but he has to be a part of the show. All right, so if you're keeping score at home, here's what we know so far. The league's first game ever in Brazil, we know that, right? They are Eagles-Packers. The 3 games in London in October and a November game in Munich, right? I'd have to actually look up what those are now because I spoke too soon on that. Oh, here we are. All right, so Packers-Eagles in Brazil, week 1. Week 5, Jets-Vikes in London. Week 6, Jags-Bears, London. Week 7, Pats-Jags, London. Week 10, Giants-Panthers, in Munich.
Oh, you almost threw up right
that
there.
one.
Man,
That
did
just,
you hear that
just,
noise?
That was Giants-Panthers.
It's exactly what I thought when I saw it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
that's
one. I don't know what time it is, but I will not be watching.
Well, you might.
Yeah,
the fantasy hook might get you.
That's true.
That's
true.
might get you.
I'll be really truthful. The reason I don't like the Sunday game is because I like to sleep in. I'm not an early riser. I hate getting up in the morning, especially on Sundays. And if you're throwing an NFL game there, I'll feel compelled to watch. And it'll ruin Saturday night. You can't
Oh no, it doesn't ruin Saturday night. You just lay there in your dirty drawers, turn on the TV, and away you go. There's an NFL game already started. I'm here for it. You know what?
But
I'm
it's
here
on
for
the stream, right?
I've seen a couple on NFL Network. That's the thing. As a fan now, you do have to keep up and keep a close eye on where a lot of these games are getting played because they're literally on Amazon. We've got Peacock, we've got Netflix, NFL Network, and then the usual CBS, Fox. We're kind of being stretched thin as a fan to find these games. But Roger Goodell says, I don't care. We're making a bunch of money. We're going to keep doing it.
I feel like the Packers are I've seen more peel and reveal on the Packers. Week 1 kickoff game, Ravens-Chiefs. Ravens at the Chiefs. Week 1 Monday Night Football, Jets Niners.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Which is nice. Week 2 Thursday Nighter, Bills Dolphins.
And if I'm the Dolphins, I'm like, dang. Who's hosting that game? Are they
Dolphins?
Oh, the Dolphins. Yeah. See, I'll be like, can we get that flipped? Can we go to Buffalo early?
For the year.
So that way we can avoid the cold. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that should be a fun one because a lot of eyes are going to be on Josh Allen and that new look offense this year. And we know Miami. My goodness, their offensive firepower is ridiculous.
So those are your slate of international regular games. I know nobody committed that, to memory. We'll examine, obviously, the Browns and Bengals tomorrow and see whether they have a nice, fold out of their schedule or not, where their bye week is, who they play before the bye, who they have coming out of the bye, I think is big right? You get the 2 weeks to prepare. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there. The other team that, Maddie, is kind of one of those teams that we're going to keep an eye on is maybe the Falcons just because of Kirk Cousins. And there was a thought out there that Kirk Cousins wouldn't have signed with the Falcons if he had known their draft plan. Obviously, he threw water on that in his little, I don't know, it was a press conference or what, media availability. But after the Falcons made quarterback Michael Penix Jr. the 8th overall pick, there was a thought that Kirk Cousins would have said, man, I did everything right, and here I've got a guy that they're going to feel like they want to, have as their future and all that. He talked about it at a press conference about the importance of where the camaraderie is.
Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. I was at the team event at the stadium, was just driving back, and they called me and just said, hey, we're gonna take a quarterback here at the pick. And I said, okay. And that was pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think it's similar to the call that Mark D'Antonio made to me in 2000. That would have been 2007. When he said, hey, we're going to offer another quarterback. I know you've signed Nick Foles. You guys are going to have to compete. And it's like, okay, let's just take the next step. And then I was drafted right with Robert Griffin. And it's, hey, you're going there with another quarterback in the same class. Okay. So this is more the norm than the exception. And I think the response is that this is the exception when really, if you know my story, this is more the norm of the journey, and it's more of let's just start working and start building together.
His okays are funny to me. Okay. Some type of accent there that I cannot figure out, but a very just subtle okay. I think the Falcons are lucky here. I think they're lucky, AR, that they have a guy that's cut from this type of cloth that doesn't seem to have a massive ego. He's not going to be a team disruptor with his emotions based off of this. And look, if we're being brutally honest here, he's got $100+ million guaranteed reasons why not to be that upset coming out of an Achilles injury. There you go, CB. So it's odd. I don't think this was the best thing to do from the team's perspective. They're thinking 4, 5, 6 years down the road. The way his contract's set up after 2 years, the guaranteed money fades away. So maybe that's what they're looking at here. But when that phone call ended, AR, when he's driving away from whatever draft event he was talking about, that's the part to where I would love to be a fly on the wall in that car. Because that canned answer he gave us, I respect the heck out of it. And I think he's probably being pretty truthful there. But as a competitor, you can't love it. You just can't. Because we know when you draft a quarterback that high, the clock's going to start at some point in time. And more times than not, it starts sooner rather than later. I think he's going to be able to hold him off. Kirk Cousins has been a good quarterback the last couple of years. It just creates an odd dynamic that I just don't like, and I hate when teams do this to themselves.
They drafted a 24-year-old quarterback. That's the other difference.
Right.
Is he wasn't, a guy who's 21 like Rodgers was when he was sitting behind Favre. Like, that's the complete difference for me is age of where they are. You're exactly right. Cousins should not be afraid of being able to hold off Michael Penix. They've got all the money invested in him anyway, and they want it to be good. The difference is, and he said, well, if you know my story, this is normal. No, well, you may have faced competition your whole life based on who you are and the teams you went to. But the difference is you're going to be 36 before this season starts, and you're coming off an Achilles. This is not what you wanted. You wanted them to draft somebody that could help you guys now because this is your window. Now, as it stands, he could be, if he stays healthy and they don't realize their goals and all that, they could trade him after this year. They could trade him after 2 years. Now, he has a no trade. He might be willing to waive it at that point. You don't know. They're not going to cut him. So, in theory, he could be traded at any time, really. But now they're sitting in a situation where they have a really good insurance policy against his injury. And so that's why I said in the beginning, that's really the honest truth to all of this. This never was about, was Michael Penix worthy of being picked? They took a gamble on him. We'll get it. He's a really good quarterback if he stays healthy. So they've got a guy, a 36-year-old quarterback, coming off an Achilles tear, and they think they're good. And so given what happened on draft night, it's not that shocking to me. He didn't want that to happen, right? Of course he didn't. And so he wasn't up there. You could hear it in his voice. I don't want to say anything disparaging about anything. Okay. We're going to go to work. I'm get paid to be a pro football player. Okay. But almost a Charlie Casserly. Okay. And so, but I feel like if he really was being honest, he'd say what most people are thinking.
This was dumb.
This was not, this was not necessary based on the fact that we're trying to go after it now.
100%.
And they paid me a lot of money to be the man. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure why they drafted another guy at that position to maybe be the man sooner than later. But here we are. We've seen starters go down before, and he's coming off a pretty bad injury. But him saying, I don't really deal in hypotheticals, when he was asked about would he do this again, I understand that. There's no way you want to go down that road, because if the answer was yes, I mean, my goodness, there would have been, I mean, hiding behind the hypothetical is pretty easy, unless you feel like the answer is absolutely no, and he could have said that. So by answering, I don't deal in hypotheticals, that's him telling you that he might have rethought it if he knew this was going to happen.
I agree.
Because he could have easily said, guys, that means nothing to me.
Right.
Like, I am ready. I'm
like throughout the free agency process, when he was talking to Atlanta, was this brought up at all?
That's, by the way, great question at the press conference. The other, and I don't know, maybe they went through all this. I haven't heard about all this, but maybe somebody, the whole, how do you feel about it? Does it bother you? Did that pick, even though they told you when you found out, what was your, his first reaction was like, okay, no, that couldn't have been his first reaction.
No. That's what I'm saying. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that car after that call, because it did feel like to me that the blindside kind of vibe that we got in the draft is exactly what happened. And the team put themselves first before the emotion of the star quarterback that they just signed and spent a whole bunch of money on. So the Falcons may come out of this thing looking great in 2026, 2027, and beyond, the way they may be able to layer this thing with Kirk Cousins for a couple years and get it to Michael Penix and have that guy learn a whole bunch, and everybody uses the Jordan Love example and all that. Yeah, they came out on the other side looking well, but in the eye of that storm, it was some static there because Rodgers felt slighted. He got blindsided. They calculated in the wrong way because Aaron Rodgers went on to literally win MVPs and play at a ridiculously high level. So now they look good, but you just got to wonder what's that like, what that's going to be like on the daily in that building every day when you have this storyline that's just going to hover over you all the time. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it when you have a guy, as you mentioned, at that age. This is your window. Let's go all in, get as much as we can around him, and see if we can make something shake.
So the way to silence this is Kirk playing really well. That's what keeps this story a non-story.
Yeah.
I don't know, you'll always have that rando fan after the first bad pick. It's like, let's go to Penix. But the bottom line is that this is a distraction, or can be, if he's not playing well. Then it becomes an ultimate controversy. We got to see this 24-year-old gunslinger from Washington. I do think that if Cousins plays well, the Atlanta Falcons could be a story this year. And that could also silence the thing. Like, if he's playing well, they don't, hey, the good news is Michael Penix, you don't need him.
Let me ask you this. You think he can win comeback player of the year? Because I got some odds for you.
Oh, yeah.
I got some odds for you. At Bet365.
He's definitely in that mix.
I can throw some guys at you in pre-snap reads and pick up your vibe and see how you're feeling about old Kirko Chains.
Let's do that next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
DraftKings Sports and Social is now open in Columbus Short North. Get ready for the ultimate experience where sports and the party collide into an atmosphere unlike any other. Visit sportsandsocial.com/Columbus and follow us on social for details. DraftKings Sports and Social. Drink, eat, be social.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you heard? Skyline now has nachos with a layer of queso blanco under that amazing Skyline chili and cheese. Try them straight up or get the deluxe nachos with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and sour cream at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
There was some speed to this.
The sudden roars.
Gauged it just right.
That Sunday celebration.
From Oslo to Ohio, Victor Hovland is the champion.
It's better live. Join us at the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, June 3rd through 9th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Spring is here, and it's only going to get hotter from here, folks. Don't cool off the outside this year. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. They are the best in the business. Who else backs it up with a true 20-year warranty? Give them a call, 614-502-5220, to schedule your free in-home estimate today. For every 2 windows you buy, the next 2 free. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. That is 5 years. Restrictions apply. Check them out online, uwd.com.
The Fan is your home for NBA playoff action. Catch every game of the conference finals and NBA finals on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. How does one listen to such magical things? On the Fan app, silly. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. Do it.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it almost heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are cloudy. We're pretty soggy right now. We do have some improvements, though, as we head through the rest of the day. We'll begin to see a little bit of clearing, slowly watching those skies dry out by midday. Into the afternoon hours, 4, 5, 6 o'clock will be nice and dry. Clouds begin to move out, and we might see just a couple rays of sun before sunset. Temperatures climbing into the upper 60s. Columbus hitting 69. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your Doppler 10 forecast on The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, a little Bet365 time, Maddie.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
Well, I feel like I may want to bet against our cash-out boy from earlier in the day and maybe take Oklahoma City to win the game, and maybe parlay that with Boston winning tonight. But that's probably not going to get me much better than like minus 150. So I would probably have to throw in something, and maybe I do a mental hedge and take the Panthers to win in Game 5. And that would get me plus 177.
Okay.
Because I have that, the Bruins future. So give me the Thunder, the Celtics, and the Panthers on the money line parlay for plus 177.
All right, I'm rocking out with CB's Guardians tonight. Guardians won 3 in a row. Their offense looks good. 7 runs in 3 straight games, which is great to see there that without Rich Homie Quan, a.k.a. Steven Quan, the offense can still roll. I like the look in the eye last night of Josh Naylor when he was rounding the bases. He hit a nice 3-run homer down in Texas. I'm doubling down. Give me Josh Naylor tonight to hit a dinger against the Rangers, plus 425. Favorite Guardian, the dude's special, man. He's a beast. They got him in the middle of the lineup with J-Ram. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
The new Hunger Games is out on Stars. Saw it pop up last night. It's really good.
Yeah, that'll jump into.
That's the history of how, like, one of the older Hunger Games, of how it really originated. Our guy Tyrion, Will Tyrion, he is the originator of Hunger Games. He made the game. So I think you would like that. Viola Davis is in that. She kills it, per usual. But yeah, it was a good movie. You should check it out.
The NFL future markets are interesting, and one that caught our eye was the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Now, I think this is a very tough award to bet into, especially, look at how last year played out. You had an out-of-nowhere performance from Flacco, right? So there's not a ton of consistency on how, because you're also betting on voters. It's a very difficult thing. You're not betting on results. You are to some degree. They have to have the results, but the voters decide on the award. So betting on Comeback Player of the Year, you kind of scared me when you teased this a little bit, because sometimes, and I know from the history of watching the game, that it could go to the best player to come back, from a season-ending injury. Injury plays the biggest part, I would say. Sometimes they treat it as the most improved award, right? Geno Smith, 2 years ago. Most improved, right?
He balled out, yeah.
And then in other times, it can be just inspiring. And we know that whether it's Alex Smith, it doesn't matter how they play. You get on the field, you take a snap, and
well, we thought that with DeMar.
We did.
We thought that with DeMar Hamlin.
It took the Flacco out of nowhere performance to knock that off. But that's why I just wanted to bring all that up, because it's just so tough to bet in on the voters. Now, I think this year it's a lock to go to one of these quarterbacks based on my first instinct, which is devastating season injury, them coming back. So lay it out, Maddie.
Well, give me a name. Give me a quarterback that you think would be in the mix for this, and I'll tell you where they're at.
Automatic. Those three that we met would be Rodgers, Burrow, and Cousins.
Rodgers is the leader in the clubhouse.
Okay.
Plus 140. Then you got Joey B, second in line at plus 200. But then you got a couple guys tied for third.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins at plus 600 and Anthony Richardson at plus 600 as well. I'll tell you, my favorite is probably Kirk Cousins. And here's why, because I think Kirk Cousins, between Rodgers and Burrow, has the easier path to win their division, along with some really good statistics, because the Jets are dealing with the Dolphins and the Bills, and then we know the AFC North is absolutely crazy every single year. So value right now, I do like Kirk Cousins at plus 600. And then you get to Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson at plus 1,400, and then CB's guy at 18 to 1.
Unlimited.
Yeah, there he is. And then you got a couple Browns back-to-back real quick, AR. Deshaun and Nick Chubb both at 18 to 1.
He'd be the non-quarterback. Chubb would be the non-quarterback that I would be willing to bet on. And you mentioned Anthony Richardson, which I think is interesting to me. However, if I go back in history, normally they give this award to guys that have been around for at least a few seasons. He's going into a second season. So, I mean, he can be electric. We get that. I like your take on the Falcons as far as what they can be this year. There's a reason Rodgers is the favorite because he's on, well, outside of Burrow, he's just on a team that's dripping with talent. So, but I don't like the bet with Rodgers because it's only plus 175. There's no fun in that bet.
Well, it's only plus 140.
I'm sorry,
bet 365. Yeah.
And where was Burrow?
Plus 200.
Yeah, so I feel like you want to go with one of those guys like Cousins, Richardson, maybe Deshaun Watson.
I just think
maybe Chubb.
If Rodgers and Burrow reach their peak, I think we're talking MVP conversation for those guys. Like, I think they'll be beyond the comeback player of the year. Like, I don't know if they're going to double down and win maybe MVP and comeback player of the year. But Kirk Cousins, to me, that's the one that I really like. Chubb, it's just so up in the air. Like, we're getting him right out of the gate. What is he going to look like? We know he's a Hall of Fame talent, but that was a rough injury. There, you want to go a little deeper in the weeds?
I got another quarterback for you that I wanted to ask about.
Yeah, I got you, big dog.
Because I always like betting on those quarterbacks. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did Herbert play too many games to be considered? He played 13, and then Easton Stick took him the rest of the way in those last 5 when they lost all 5.
He's right behind Chubb.
Okay.
Not very close, but Chubb's 18 to 1. He's 25 to 1.
They're just not going to be good enough probably for him to get it. I like where we are with this. I think the Cousins is the value. I think Richardson could be there.
Because you're right. You make a good point with Richardson. Like the numbers with the rushing and just all of that. And if he messes around and clips CJ and the Texans and Trevor Lawrence and they, mess around and win that division, I think he's going to be really good. I do.
The other thing about betting on the award thing is you're right. If we could find somebody who would not be the MVP, yet could be good enough to win comeback player of the year, and then they kind of please both guys by, you didn't get that, you're going to win this.
That's a good point.
But I don't, the value just isn't quite there to tie it all the way up. I like the underdog play anyway in this. And like I said, we had a out of nowhere guy in Flacco win it. I don't even remember what his odds were, if there were.
Oh, God. I don't even think you could find. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think you can find him. CB, real quick before we go, can I get another Mr. Unlimited if you got that fired up?
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah, there he is.
And I don't know. He might lose the job to Justin soon enough, and they want to see what they have. So I don't know if that would be wasted money.
Well, if you want Justin, I got him for you 30 to 1. He's 30 to 1 to win comeback player of the year.
But why would he be listed as comeback player of the year?
That's a great question. Got to ask the Wizard of Oz guy behind the curtain. But with that, I don't know.
Yeah, what would he be technically coming back from?
Tough start to his career.
I mean, he played in all the games.
I know. I hear you.
Played in a preseason game for all. Like, how could he even be considered comeback player of the year? Because he just would double his stats or something like that?
I don't know. You're asking a good question. If you are a Bryce Young believer, you can get him at 60 to 1. That bet 365.
How much do they believe in the Ravens? A lot, and they should. Kevin Oestreicher is coming on next. We'll find out how locked on he is next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
And right now, get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. It can all be installed in as little as 1 day.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
Murphy Tractor and Equipment is your source for John Deere construction equipment rental. We rent high-quality equipment and attachments with add-on options in TopCon precision construction technology. Whether you need 1 week or 6 months, we rent a variety of equipment to help you get the job done. All our rental equipment is fully serviced, fueled, and ready to get to work. Let Murphy Tractor be your first choice for your construction equipment rental needs. Visit us online at murphytractor.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. I need you to listen up real quick. One of the largest manufacturers in the United States for CPAP machines recently announced they're suspending sales of all their breathing machines over problems with the devices. Millions of Philips Respironic ventilators and CPAP machines are being recalled now that they've reached a plea agreement with the FDA. That all doesn't sound good. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's why I'm not going to deal with my sleep apnea because I don't want to have a bulky CPAP. Well, this is where you need to call my guy, Dr. Mark Levy. Dr. Mark Levy has dedicated his practice to helping people who suffer from sleep apnea, and he can create a custom mouthpiece for you that stops your snoring and effectively treats your sleep apnea with no CPAP machine. Yeah, he's in network with most major medical insurers and is a Medicare provider too. This is Dr. Mark Levy's passion. He's been doing this a long time. He wants to help you with your sleep apnea and also make it so your partner doesn't want to murder you dead because you snore so much. So do what I did. Call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or book an appointment online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Wednesday night at 8 on The Fan.
There's a place where mishaps don't mean missing out. Welcome to AAA's The Plus Side, where a AAA Plus membership means that an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day. Where a flat tire doesn't have to deflate your mood. Where being locked out doesn't mean you'll be out of luck for long. And where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party.
Looks like you're all set here. Have a good rest of the day.
Because on the plus side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With AAA Plus, you're covered with the gold standard in roadside assistance, whenever and wherever you need it. Tire changes, battery swaps, and emergency fuel are just a tap, click, or call away. AAA gets to you faster, and if you need a tow, we'll take you further, anywhere within 100 miles. Become a AAA Plus member today and experience the peace of mind that comes when you live on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply. Service is only available from AAA and CAA in North America.
This offer is only available at Reichert Ford. 0% financing for 72 months on every 2023 Ford F-150 in stock. Take advantage of Reichert's rate before it's too late. Lock in your 0% rate and take a new truck home today. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
See dealer for details. N6324.
Exclusively at Reichert Ford. 0% for 72 months is now available on every new 23 F-150 in stock. Hundreds of trucks at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back. You know the story. Maddie's Ravens fell just short of the Super Bowl with that loss in the AFC title game to the eventual champs, the KC Chiefs. Now, we know Lamar Jackson is under contract. The Ravens are pretty solid. The foundation is there. They'll be contenders again. How many reinforcements they added in the draft, we'll get that analyzed a little bit from our friend Kevin Oestreicher, Locked on Ravens. Kev, welcome back to the program.
I appreciate you having me. It's been a somewhat busy offseason in Baltimore.
And we now know that the Ravens are going up against the Chiefs in week 1, the Christmas matchup against the Texans. So the big schedule release is tonight, but already getting some previews of what it could be for the Ravens this year.
No doubt. All right, we'll hit on that in a moment. So championship aspirations again, we know that. I go back to the draft. It seemed very meat and potatoes. You know, a corner late in round 1, then an offensive tackle, then an edge guy in round 3. Was there a highlight in the draft you felt for the Ravens?
I thought that, for me, starting off with Nate Wiggins, I mean, to me, he's somebody that fits what the Ravens want to do in terms of his size and his weight a little bit. He's undersized there. I think a full offseason in an NFL strength program will help that. But to me, the speed, NFL offenses today, we know that they like to build track teams. And Nate Wiggins with his 4.28 40 and some of that late game breakaway speed that he can have, especially catching back up to receivers, really helps out. And the Ravens love running 3 cornerback rotations on the outside. So pairing him up with Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens, I think will help that secondary a lot. But to me, I think the Ravens got a bunch of value. The other corner they got, TJ Tampa, in the 4th round. You know, I had him as a late 2nd round guy. So you get 2 guys who can help you in your secondary. Offensive line was a huge need for them. They lost 3 starters, so they ended up getting Roger Rosengarten, who, in my opinion, the Ravens want to build this athletic tackle room, or this, honestly, athletic offensive line room with that mini rebuild, and Rosengarten fits that role. But to me, I like the Tez Walker pick a lot. If I had to pick a favorite, it's between Tampa and Tez Walker. The Ravens needed a bigger-bodied wide receiver who can go up, catch contested passes, and Tez Walker also has a speed element to him, too. So I thought overall, those first 5, even 6 picks, I thought were great for Eric DeCosta and company.
So let's zoom out from the draft and go back to free agency. One of the big ones that they brought in this year is Derrick Henry. Just your thoughts on that fit next to Lamar and what that could look like in 2024 and beyond.
I think it's a great fit, and I think the Ravens made a good decision here. I know there's a lot of discourse in today's game just about should you pay running backs, especially as they hit that 30 markers, get close to 30. But to me, I think Henry gives you a bunch of added elements, and some people, I think the argument against it is, well, the Ravens already had a top rushing or the top rushing offense in the league over the past however many years you want to go back with Lamar Jackson. Why would you want to add that position when it already was great? And to me, my answer to that is, well, yeah, it was, but that doesn't mean that it can't get even better, even though it was at the top or the top of the league. So Henry, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins are great, but Derrick Henry gives you an added element of, well, first of all, he's Derrick Henry in general, but it's almost like the yin and yang of Lamar and Derrick Henry, where defenses are going to have to find a balance to their personnel when facing this offense, especially when it is clear run situations. If the Ravens go and face a look where the defense puts in a bunch of heavy personnel to try to stop Derrick Henry, well, Lamar Jackson can probably get to the outside on that. And we know what he can do when he's one-on-one in the open field with guys, especially guys who are a step slower than him or multiple steps slower. Then you get, okay, if you want to get the fast personnel in, try to stop Lamar, well, Derrick Henry one-on-one can just bowl those guys over. So I think it might take a little time to get the Ravens to fully understand how they want to utilize those two. But I think once we hit November, December, Ravens will have a pretty good idea. And this is a new era for Baltimore because they've been running a committee backfield for a while now. But with Derrick Henry, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I think they're not going to run it 6 times in the AFC Championship game with him. You can't do it.
Can't believe that. I was tweeting that during the game. I can't believe it because I think it was it Gus that had the first big carry and like you handed to him for first down. It just felt like, and the game was so winnable, right? I mean, didn't expect Lamar to throw that pick, but as we move forward to 2024, you had mentioned the schedule and having that Kansas City to start with. So their roadies are the bigger roadies would be Dallas, Houston, Kansas City. I guess you could include the Chargers. Maybe Pittsburgh. They do bring Philly to Baltimore and some other goodies. But do you like the way it's weighted? Do you like the home and road? We don't know how it's going to lay out, but are you a fan of this schedule?
Yeah, I think for me, with Baltimore finishing in first, you're going to get the quote unquote, toughest opponents there. I think it is decently well balanced out. I mean, you do have a couple of, you mentioned the road games, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston as well. But then you get Buffalo at home, and Buffalo's kind of going through, I don't want to call it a rebuild, but they're retooling, I guess you want to call that. Philly at home is also going to be a big game. I guess there are more challenging games on the road, just glancing over it now. But I think it's also going to depend. The Ravens have had some very weird schedules over the past couple of seasons. They had to travel, I believe, the most miles or up there near the top of the most miles in the league. last year. They're not going to be doing that this year because obviously last year they played the NFC West, so you're going out there twice a year when you do that. But to me, I like the fact that Baltimore is going to hopefully, and again, we don't know the actual specifics of it yet, but if we get the Ravens at home for maybe like a 3 or 4 game homestand, they don't have anything more than maybe a 3-game road trip, which, again, we don't know the particulars. I think it will all balance out. But there are a bunch of different nuances in the schedule that are so interesting, including a big one to me is where the bye week is. If the Ravens have an early bye week, I don't think that's good news for them. I prefer it for them to be in the middle or later in the season so they can get that rest in there. But I think overall, when you take the home opponents, take the away opponents, I'd say it's decently well-balanced, but I think toughness-wise, you kind of lean away.
So, Kevin, I think about Lamar sometimes, and like I have to imagine he's got to be kind of jealous of some of the young quarterbacks around the league that are walking into these situations with these elite weapons and guys that, he was drafted around, and the Joe Burrows and the Josh Allen that have had superstar playmakers on the outside. But this is a question about Zay Flowers. He was a rookie last year. Looked like they really found something. Do you believe the Ravens have found a legitimate number one wide receiver that defenses should be afraid of week in and week out?
I think they have, and I know he's not necessarily the prototypical number one in terms of size, and a lot of the A.J. Browns, DK Metcalfs. He's not 6'2" or anything like that, but he's a 3-level receiver. He's one of the best route runners. He was the best route runner in his class, in my opinion, and I think he's turning out one of the better route runners in this entire league. And to me, it's the connection is already established with Lamar. I think the Ravens did mishandle Lamar's rookie contract, and I've been pretty vocal about that in terms of, you see Josh Allen get Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, and Marquise Brown go to Arizona for Kyler Murray, et cetera. But these are the types of moves. Zay Flowers on a rookie deal, the impact that he had in the Ravens, it goes back, really far for them in terms of not being able to draft and develop their own wide receivers, first-round receivers. But Zay came in pretty NFL ready at the start, and he proved that they can put him anywhere on the field, in the slot, on the outside, and teams are going to have to work. He's an impossible cover one-on-one. You have to shade help over to him, and that opens up the rest of the field. And that's what good receivers do. I think almost the discourse around number one wide receivers is, again, they have to be that bigger, taller guy that just, dominates that way. But Zay, to me, even though he's on the smaller side, I think that he's shown with his abilities that he is absolutely up there, and he can be Baltimore's wide receiver one. It's just about for him continuing that rookie momentum into his second year. That's the next step for him.
Good stuff, Kevin. Yeah, if they can go in and take care of business in the opener, I bet they vault right into the odds-on favorite early, very early, to win the Super Bowl. If they can go in and pull that off, that'll be a massive opener. Thanks, my man. We'll talk again soon.
Always appreciate you. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Kevin Oestreicher, Locked On Ravens on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Matty, the league often wants to, get at least one divisional game early on in the schedule. You guys had 3 in the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you get Kansas City. We know that in the opener on Thursday night. Yeah. And then it really depends on how many Sunday nights, how many Monday nights. Because I was looking at your schedule and I'm thinking, if you could get Buffalo on a Monday night at home, I think that'd be fun. Lamar versus Josh, that's always a good one. And then, like he was talking about the bye week, it's going to be too late. If you have a holiday game and all that, it really depends. But, yeah, if you got a Monday nighter and a Sunday nighter, and you'll have a Thursday nighter, so you have Kansas City, I'd kind of want a Sunday nighter to be a rivalry game. I'd love to see them play Pittsburgh or somebody there. And then I would like them on a Monday nighter to have Josh Allen against Lamar.
They'll have their fair share of primetime games. That's for sure. Getting the 2-time MVP in that primetime slot, they're absolutely going to do that. He mentioned that Christmas Day game. That's going to be a fun rematch of a playoff game that we saw last year. They played twice last year, the Ravens and the Texans. So I can't wait for that one, too.
Wait, the Christmas game is already...
Yeah, that's what, I'm pretty sure that's what Kevin said. They were getting Texans-Ravens on Ho-Ho-Ho Day.
You know what I thought we were going to get?
Yeah.
I thought they'd say... Hey, Harbaugh's, enough. You'll be with family, but you'll be playing
against each other.
Yes, they do Ravens Chargers on Christmas.
That's happening at some point for sure. I think that'll be a primetime game. That way they can build that up around TV.
You have to have a Harbaugh Bowl, but it'd be funny if they did it on the
Christmas
holiday.
Day. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. All right, guys. What's not funny is your lack of energy, motivation, and drive. Maybe you have that. It could be low T. Schedule that health assessment at Low T Center. Get it done now, because there's no reason to go through life feeling tired, irritable, and lack of motivation and drive. Low testosterone levels can do a lot of bad things, cause weight gain, muscle mass, so much more. I've recommended Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. They'll make it quick and easy to get yours tested and get the results in 25 minutes for $25. They have an on-site lab, so you're going to get those results back right away. Most insurance is accepted for treatment. So all you have to do is go to lowtcenter.com now and book that appointment online. And if you need the help, you need the convenience of even at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy. They'll ship it directly to you. But once again, get your levels tested now. This is the time to do it. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Tell the truth up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
Ever fight the good fight? That's pretty much my go-to move. I always want to come through for the people that count on us, to stand up for what's right, and I'll never stop fighting that fight. But when it comes to word games, I pick my battles. Take tune-ups. In Columbus, tune-up now seems to mean cursory inspection instead of deep cleaning and maintenance. And as much as I'd love to set the record straight, that ship has sailed. So for now on, my Eco AC technicians won't call them tune-ups. They'll Ecofy, Servicefy, and Restorify your AC.
Restorify? Son, I don't think your cornbread's done in the middle.
Look, if people want to call a drive-by inspection and sales pitch a tune-up, I don't want to fight them on the label. Whether you want to call it an eco-ification or not. The important part is we'll get your system fully cleaned, greened, and recalibrated to factory spec condition. Want a con job mislabeled as a tune-up? Call someone else. Want to Ecofy your AC back to perfect working order for only $89? Call
GetEco.com. Don't miss a minute of the action on the diamond with ESPN Bet. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN is the only place to find offers and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities, including daily odds boost and home run specials all season long. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Morning Juice.
You are now in the headspace with the crew of being potentially the best ever MLS team to play. This is the best ever assembly of MLS talent.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
It's our absolute favorite place to go for that live VIP sportsbook experience. 12,000 square feet of sportsbook action. 2 huge walls of TVs, not to mention delicious food and drink. But your experience can be even better if you download the Penn Play app.
Yep, you can get up to $140 in rewards. It's so easy, dummies like us can do it. Got to download the free Penn Play app today and cash in your bonuses. Plus, you never know, and you'll see Man and I lurking around.
I'm lurking. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's a little slice of heaven in a country road's escape. Pure perfection in the form of uncrowded nature. Over 1.5 million acres of parks and public lands. From mountain biking to stargazing. Churning white water to quiet trout streams far off the grid. Almost heaven is down to earth in West Virginia. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. It's springtime, and you know what that means? It means berry season, the fresh, delicious berries, and there's no better place to get them than, you guessed it, Bob Evans and their delicious farmhouse kitchen. They have a number of berry salads there that you're going to love. The summer berry salad, which I love, the red, white, and blueberry farmer's choice. And you know what's fantastic? They start at $6.99 with that red, white, and blueberry hotcakes. Who doesn't love that? With the delicious toppings. They've got them for dine-in, carry-out, delivery. Check them out at bobevans.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Experience the Sports Lodge mentality.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right. So a couple months ago, a friend of the program, Louis Vaquer from Wildcat Report up in Chicago, reported that he was hearing that the Northwestern Ohio State game on November 16th was going to be played at Wrigley Field. And, of course, it has not been confirmed yet by either school. But I did just see Bill Rabinowitz over at the Columbus Dispatch report that Northwestern season ticket holders have been told that it is the case that game will be held at Wrigley Field. My question to you is, if you haven't done so before, would you like to go see something like this? Go to a football game that's played at a baseball stadium?
I've not done it. I told you guys a story of my grandfather had season tickets to the Bears at Wrigley when they played there. So at least there's some history. But I will tell you, I do not like watching it on television. I think going to the venue and being there watching football in a baseball stadium would maybe be kind of surreal and neat. But when I watch it on TV and I see a running back or a kick returner like going from grass to dirt, going over where a pitcher's mound is supposed to be, a quarterback rolling into, quote, deep short, I'm not into it. I don't like it. I don't like the look of it. But I would be lying if I said I wouldn't mind maybe attending one at one point.
You nailed that, because that's exactly how I feel about the visual look.
Dirt and grass combo is not good.
It's a miss for me. CB, here's why I would pass. If you said I got tickets for you right now to go to this Buckeye Wildcat game in Chicago at Wrigley, I think I would have a good time there. But I don't want to spoil my first time being at Wrigley Field without it being a baseball game. As a true baseball head, I have to go into that venue with the sport being played in there that's supposed to be played there. So Chicago's awesome. Would have a great time in the city, but I wouldn't want to spoil that for me. Like, I'm just kind of out on it altogether. I don't like the look of it. But if you handed me a ticket and I'd already been to Wrigley to see the old Buckeyes, I would probably go. But I can't go to Wrigley for the first time to watch a football game.
He doesn't want to see an infield on a football field for the first time.
Just find out right now today is true.
I mean, you saw the old Coliseum games back when the Raiders were playing there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
not good.
Kind of close, right? No, it wasn't great. I did see this promotion from Buffalo Wild Wings on Mondays and Wednesdays. Dine in. You can have all-you-can-eat boneless wings and fries for $19.99. And it got me thinking of a tell-the-truth question. If I sat you down in the chair, let you choose your blue cheese, ranch, whichever you prefer, and your sauce of choice, how many of these wings do you think you could consume in one sitting?
I'm going to need sauces, CB. I'm going to need probably 2 or 3. So at B-Dubs, I'm a big fan of their Parmesan garlic, like a spicy garlic and maybe a teriyaki. That'd be my trio. Give me ranch and blue cheese. I probably have a good 20 in me right out of the gate. And then when we got to 20, that's when it would start to get a little dicey. The meat sweats start to pop up and all that stuff. Now, here's the other thing with B-Dubs and their boneless wings. They're breaded pretty heavily at B-Dubs, so you're going to get full fairly quick. But I think I got a good 20 in me out of the gate.
So you're going, this is boneless?
Yeah.
All right. As I like to call it, the buttery giblets. How many buttery giblets could you put down? 20 is a pretty good number. If it was traditional, I would say... I know I could get to 24 depending on what size. So I'll say 2 dozen on the boneless.
Okay.
Why would you worry?
By the way, it's White Castle Slider Day, so I thought you maybe threw out that. I guess they're giving out.
So that wasn't on my calendar, but I guess we could change the question and kind of direct it towards that.
You get one free one today, apparently.
So let's talk about the White Castle Sliders. Let's do a number. If I gave you an unlimited supply of it, how many could you eat?
Oh, Maddie, going on with that crave case. He used to love it.
I think I only got
talk about it all the time.
Got about 10 in me? Because the bread,
the buns.
The buns are going to get you. That's what's going to get you. I like big buns, and I cannot lie.
There's another T-shirt. The buns are going to get you.
I got 10 in me.
How many are in a crave case, CB?
That's a good question.
Oh, I haven't had one in a long time. I would probably guess maybe a dozen, but I'm probably wrong.
Big fan of the chicken.
Chanel number 5.
Shout out to the chicken rings, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
How many sliders you got in
I'm
your big
looking.
dog?
I just want to see if I could take a case.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
A little briefcase full of blues, take it home. Buy them by the sack. How many?
Like you can go
30.
from 10 to 30.
30. Packed in a convenient case.
Because then
how many hours? Yeah. Just an all evening kind of thing? Tip to finish before you go to bed? I'll say... I'd say I do that over 3 nights. I'd probably put 10 down. I mean, have 10. They're small.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
All right, I saw an extra inning baseball game the other day, and I was wondering the worst overtime formats I think could be combined as a baseball/college football once you get into the late periods of it. I think the debate between those two is pretty strong, but which of those two is worse, the ghost runner on second in baseball or the alternating 2-point conversions?
It's a landslide for me. It's baseball. Yeah. It's goofy. Like, I understand they're so worried about time and all that. Like, what are we doing? Putting a guy in scoring position, too? Like, maybe first base. Maybe. It's a little better, but it's just such an easy pass for these offenses and put the pitchers in horrible spots. So, yeah, give me the runner on second.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the 2-point conversion. I think that's kind of cool. It's so weird that a game that doesn't have a clock is now so hell-bent on making sure everybody gets home on time. Right. The romance of baseball when I was a kid was the 15 innings, 16 innings, 7, all that. It was like games when you were a kid, but absolutely. I don't want to do that to pitchers. Let's not put a guy on second base. That's awful.
And the truth shall set you free.
If you missed Adam Schefter completely dunking on NFL schedule day, or Cam Mellor talking all things college football, Kevin Oestreicher talking Baltimore Ravens football, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Those interviews and a lot more will be waiting for you.
All right, tomorrow, Frank Caliendo in studio. I'll put a disclaimer on, unless something happens with the schedule, but I'm not anticipating that. So 1 to 1:30, Frankie in the house. Don't miss it on YouTube or The Fan. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Conway and T-Bone next. Rothman and Ice in The Fan.
Wake up with The Fan. Eat lunch with The Fan. Go to bed with The Fan. Dream about The Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
This action update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 108 days now until the season opener against Akron. The Buckeyes are plus 450 to win the national championship. Ohio State is the betting favorite in the Big Ten at plus 165. Oregon second at plus 210. Penn State and the Cheaters are both plus 550. And Ohio State is minus 650 to make the college football playoff for your Tipico action update on Scotty Vegas.
Right now during Ram season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $479 a month for 42 months with $4,279 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
There was some speed to this.
The sudden roars.
Gauged it just right.
That Sunday celebration.
From Oslo to Ohio, Victor Hovland is the champion.
It's better live. Join us at the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. June 3rd through 9th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, let's talk about the bedroom for a moment. That moment of intimacy. I don't think people call it that, but you know what I'm saying, right? The time where maybe you're ready for a little oh yes, and instead it's turned into an oh no for you. Because maybe you're having a little bit of an issue in the bedroom. So, all right, my guys at BlueChew.com are there to help you out. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. So if you don't like to swallow pills, good news. Blue Chew's tablets are a performance enhancement for the bedroom that can help you gain extra confidence when it's time to perform, and you don't have to swallow it. You can chew it. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. If you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com right now. And here's a special deal for my listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code BONE at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code BONE to receive your first month free. That's BlueChew.com, promo code BONE.
Big things are happening on the east side.
We're ready to deal. Come negotiate during May's Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda. Lower payments, better financing, more value for any trade. Take up to $3,000 off new Honda CRVs, up to $5,000 off pilots. We'll work hard to get you a payment you can afford. Now, during May Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for program details.
Open your door to a beautiful Nature Stone basement floor. This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone. Save up to 50% during their May is for Moms sales event. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com.